Disventure Dispatch is back for season 2. None of you guys saw this coming because we we were very closed off with our finale. We tried to make it seem like it's the end, but no, we're actually back. Joined with me today is an old host. He is back for season 2 of the Dispatch. His name is Imer Gaming. Hello, Imer. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everyone. I am back indeed. I didn't even think we're gonna do Dispatch again. I thought finale was it, but there were some talks aside afterwards that had me interested, and I am back to talk about Disventure Camp today with my favorite fan, Jpeg.
Yeah, and we also got the other hosts. Oh wait, no, we don't. No, we don't.
No, we don't have the other hosts. We're literally in a single VC.
If you're wondering about the other three, I will say that Tam, she I believe she's on break right now.
Yes.
And even if she wasn't, I think by the end you could tell she was kind of burnt out. So, I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Tam did help with DC4's production for like the first fourth, but she definitely had to take a break. She's done a lot for All Stars and DC1 in general. You could probably account for that. But yeah, it definitely was a pleasure working with her for the start at least. But for now, yes, she is gone, and hopefully we see her back again. But if not, I respect it, and I hope she handles life well.
Yeah. You guys are pretty far into production, I think. Episode like 17 or 18, I think. So who knows if Tam will return by the end of the season. And even if she does, I feel like you guys have a rhythm going on where she'll feel like kind of out of the loop, you know? Because you guys are so far.
Yeah. But the thing is we also like always try to catch other proofreaders up in the worst case scenario. Like we have like a whole system to do that. But yeah, I understand. Yeah. It's a hard thing to like catch up with DC4's production. It's really fast paced, I'd say.
I noticed that both Tam and Weister are in these special thanks, so I'm sure that they help here and there, but they're more so like on break, I guess, compared to yourself and Reese and Leo, right?
Yeah.
And Jason.
They're definitely in like the back line. If we need them, we call. But all the other ones are just like frontline proofreaders, deal with all the issues, have the talks with Jared, write down the comments, all that.
So that's where Tam is. She's on a little break right now. Genesis, on the other hand, kind of like Tam, by the end of the show, you could kind of tell he was getting burnt out. We didn't like formally ask him, so maybe he isn't burnt out. Maybe he like really cares about DC.
Yeah, what if we just like didn't invite him, and then now he's gonna be like, "Wait, guys, I want to do this," and then we all look like jerks.
I mean, I thought about it, and I was like, the smaller episodes where it's just 2 or 3 of us, those tend to flow a bit better. I feel.
Yeah.
We can talk more. As for Marks, he is actually part of it, just not this episode, because this episode is going to be a bit longer, I'd say. Maybe it'll be close to 90-ish minutes, just because we have 3 episodes to talk about, and we have to like recap you guys on what we've been doing since September. It's been 3 months. No, 4 months. It's been 4 months since the last episode.
It has been 4 months,
September.
Yeah. I was going to say better than ever. I'm like, this is definitely not better than ever. We only have 2 people now. But
it's really lonely.
But we're getting there. That's all.
Yeah. We don't plan on getting any guests for this season of the Dispatch, other than like their own exclusive interviews. But I know Jace is already doing that. I don't want to step on Jace's toes too much. So I'll leave that to Jace, right, to take care of that. I would like to talk to them less about the VA stuff, more just casual sort of conversations. But we'll see. We'll see. I think that compared to the first 2 generations of DC casts, I guess this cast is a bit more private. They are older, right?
Yeah,
so they're less like chronically online than.
Well, it depends on who you talk to, because like it's not chronically online, but we do a lot of hangouts, like pretty much almost daily. So like, it depends. But like interviewing is a whole different thing. It's like 2 hours, like 1 hour. I don't know. We'll probably be like 30 minutes knowing us. But yeah, it all depends on the VA. A lot of them do like to keep their space, which I understand. And some of them do love interacting with the fans. You can check out on Twitter, or called X now, to see that. What I'm saying.
We'll keep the door open, but
yeah, exactly.
It's not guaranteed that we'll get them. We'll see. No. We'll see what happens. We'll play by ear. Hopefully, some of them watch. If you're watching, hello, welcome.
Hello,
nice
hello.
To meet you. I'm the voice of Kai.
I voiced the snail. I'm taking Winston's job. I don't care. Yeah, I voiced the snail, totally.
I don't even remember the snail had a voice.
No, snail didn't have a voice. I'm being sarcastic.
I don't remember. I watched this all like yesterday in like the span of like an hour or like. By the way, these episodes are way longer than I thought. I thought these episodes would be like shorter, but like I guess as a new first impression, I'm like, whoa, these are pretty long.
Yeah, also because they really spread out our like word and we're like very careful with that. So there's like more scenes than usual because we know how to like measure things out, and that helps a lot. And you'll see that with future episodes for sure. When we like really
Oh
get,
yeah.
I said I probably was the least like of the newest. Like it took me a minute to like get into like the shift, but I still like did a decent amount. Like I did my work,
Yeah.
but it's tough though. Cause like, and also I should put this in perspective though. When we were proofreading episode 3, the dispatcher got episode 20. So I was watching it during an episode 3 meeting. They're like all talking about something like, yeah, sounds good. Watches like Allie's bag get ripped apart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that was like fucking like August, I think. Jeez. So if you
Yeah,
want a bit of context as to why I'm not a proofreader anymore, I'm not even in the special thanks at the moment. I think Tam and Vice are, but not me.
yeah,
It's because I think that when the finale aired, I think Jared approached me, and he could kind of tell that I was getting really burnt out with the whole genre. Of course, the fandom at the time was a lot more hostile. I've noticed that the fandom is still hostile, but less so.
yeah.
You know what I mean, right? You know what I'm trying
No,
to say.
I exactly know what you mean. There are obviously a lot of wonderful people in this fandom, but it definitely has like certain people trying to like I see reach for stuff recently because it's like not much to hate, so they're making their own hate, which is funny.
Yeah.
Like it humors me.
I don't that I'm like away from the writer's proofreader's perspective. It's like even though I don't know the context of the story, it does kind of annoy me to see a lot of like bad faith impressions, for example, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
that like there's some things that like boil your blood that you can't really even talk about yet. You
Oh,
see
it's
some
gonna
things
be like that for the whole
just
season.
wait.
Yeah, there's like I saw a lot of stuff from episode 1, and you know what the biggest thing is like, why isn't this character already developed? I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what the show's for. It's for her character to go from point A to point B. Like, I'm not saying that's basic storytelling, but that's like kind of given. Yeah, I'd say that. But like I said, everything doesn't meet the eye. That's been tweeted by Vanessa, who voices Ivy. That was like on there. You can check that out. But yeah, I definitely feel like everyone's seen their perception and thinking it's reality, but it's kind of really just what they think. And I hope throughout the season,
Yeah.
maybe we sway their minds, maybe we don't, but it's okay. It's always a learning experience working at the ONC for sure.
This is unique because we're not doing episode by episode anymore. I don't know the dramas and controversies that may happen from the fandom. I do know the episode 4 ones, but we're not going to talk about episode 4 today. So
Yeah, no. We're gonna just avoid episode 4.
we're only doing the first 3 episodes.
Honestly, though,
We're going to
I'll
talk
say
about
this
that
about
next
episode
time.
4. I thought episode 4 was gonna kind of be okay-ish. I watched. I was like, wait, this is amazing. Animators and voice actors always doing the work. Because the script looked boring, honestly. But we'll get to there later.
But just to go back, to me, DC All Stars was such a swan song, not just for the show, but for the whole, fictional reality show genre. So to me, it was like, where do we go from here? And to be honest, I still am burnt out. I'm still watching the show. I don't have as much enjoyment as I used to. But, obviously it's still a well-written show. It has a lot of my friends. I love Jared and Robert and Michael and Jason, all these people. So it's like, I'm here to support, even though I'm still on the burnout mode.
no, and that's okay.
Um,
Like, there's always gonna be like elimination shows probably for the long future. Seeing how ONC's going, obviously the whole what has kind of slowed it down a bit, but it's gonna get finished. DC4, which is awesome, 26 episode season for like a smaller production, like an indie production team. Like that's insane.
I don't know. I think, and this is going to be like the one time we get to talk about All Stars. I don't want this to be an All Stars podcast. That was last season.
No, yeah.
We're here to talk about DC4 now.
This is actually the All Stars retrospective. No, I'm joking.
Can you imagine? But I think, for me personally, the TD reboot of 2023, the whole drama reboot, it birthed a lot of fans who really wanted to adhere to the status quo, where it's like a slapstick comedy. It's more lighthearted and all that stuff. Even more so than the original 7 seasons. If you were, I don't know when you joined the fandom, Imer, but back in the day, people wanted more like deep storytelling, I guess. Focus on the human psyche and all that stuff, the lives outside the game. Just beyond the humor, the comedy, and the.
I was there for that too, honestly. Yeah, I came around like Revenge of the Island like started airing. I always avoided total drama whenever it was airing. I was like, no, I have my comic shows. But I was like, you know what? Even though I should probably not be watching Cartoon Network at my age, I was like, I'll check it out. And Revenge Island, it got me hooked. I watched a non-elimination episode as my first episode, then the next episode was like the merge. I was like, wait, what happened to the cast? But then I learned it's a voting show.
And then a few years later, your love for Survivor started, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, exactly. The COVID ages, that's when I got into Survivor.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's this weird cognitive dissonance where the older fans, I don't mean like age, I mean like when they joined the fandom.
No, exactly.
Pre-2019-ish, they want more like story-driven, deeper stuff, whereas
yes.
I'd say the newer fans, not everyone of course, but the newer fans want more lighthearted stuff, like the reboot, right? More slapstick comedy and stuff. So it creates this weird cognitive dissonance where you see All-Stars, and even DC4 to an extent, and it's like more, maybe not edgy, but more like human, I guess, more like serious, more real-world context, right? And it's like, this isn't like the reboot. Like, what happened to Goofy moments?
Like, All-Stars has...
moments, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, All-Stars has, like, all their trauma dumps. I don't hate the trauma dumps. I'm not roasting on them. I love them. But some people don't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backstories and time skips happen in the show, how it's affected, that's interesting. While with DC4, this was something that was in a fan poll on Twitter by Jared, is people wanted to hear every contestant's backstory. So we developed this strategy of confessionals telling the backstories, like Survivor and other reality TV shows like American Idol. Like, you watch, like, I can't wait to sing my heart out because blah 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 died, and then they don't get a ticket. Like, that's kind of what that's kind of what the confessionals are about.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but that kind of does remind me of American Idol.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, this is sort of unrelated, one of my favorite tweets of both Jared and Robert was when they reacted to some people. How come
it's not Squid Game?
You don't need the money? It's like, because this isn't Squid Game.
Yeah, no. Like, I think
people need to realize that some people go on reality shows just for fame and clout, not necessarily the money, just for like to advertise yourself to the world in social media, right? Like,
exactly.
A lot of people do that. It's not necessarily.
No, it's a very common thing. Like obviously you're not gonna have every character have a money reason, but that doesn't mean the character with the money reason is gonna win. Or maybe it does mean they're gonna win. Maybe the person without the money reason is not gonna win or gonna win. I think what is so good about All-Stars, it helps set us our foundation where anyone could win. If you think otherwise, you might be wrong. And I think that is really fun because even if we go the obvious route, they're still going to be paranoid because of Rhea and Connor making Final Four. And they are like the two people in DC history who didn't need the money. So it's definitely very, very interesting how we go about this psyche now and finds ways to dissect it and add more to this genre. I definitely think DC4 is going to be something big. It's just obviously it's taken a bit because pre-merge. But
yeah. But that's what I loved about Disventure Camp. It always felt like an expansion of the genre rather than sticking to the old formulas of like fanfics and fan works and like fan seasons that have been going on for, by the way, like 20 years now. No, 18 years now.
No, yeah.
Like, a lot of the older fans are kind of tired of the same song and dance, right? Whereas the younger fans are like, because they're newer to it, they're not used to the tropes just yet, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we've been using to like advertise for mostly the newer fans, but we also don't want to leave the older fans out. So a lot of my writing is to connect with them a bit, and it kind of shows a bit, but it's okay because I find a way to write for both eventually. But for now, it definitely is supposed to be like a love letter. It's like all these Survivor fans, you wanted this. Like, look at these people. Like right after elimination, they're walking back to camp. They're having these nighttime talks. Like. It's very much a love letter to all the older fans who've been waiting for a show this big, waiting for a show that can surpass its predecessor. And I think that is what DC4 is about. And I think it has the most passion Jared and Robert ever had for a season, I think. If that's safe to say. It's tough. But they definitely found a way to go past through all All-Stars criticism and enter a new season with a new ground footing and listen to everyone while trying their own things too, to experiment and grow. And I think that's definitely what is needed for DC4. But obviously there's always going to be controversial elements like flaws of characters, but there's not much we can really control. For now, it has to happen. It's the necessary evil.
I did read this before I took my leave of absence, that this season more so focuses on the positive aspects of humanity rather than the negative. And you can see it in the first 3 episodes. There are a lot of moments where characters may argue, but they have shorter arcs. There's a bit more positivity as some characters are leaving, for example. Characters apologize, they're supportive of one another. Whereas All-Stars, and to an extent DC1, were more about like the negativity and the flawed nature of human beings, right?
I will say, that definitely is going to be like the start, is the positivity. But eventually, as the claws get out, it's not always going to be positive. That's how every like competition show does work. Everyone has a different like thoughts. Like, this is their dream. If they lose it, they ain't gonna be happy. So it definitely has a way to where, like, sure, like people like Alessio and Amelie don't. Well, at this point in this time in their life, aka right now, maybe in a month they'll change, but like they're not really there for the money. They're more there for other reasons that will be maybe explained if you rewatch the episodes, or maybe the future expands upon. Because it's tough to say with eliminated contestants what's ever going to happen because there's 26 episodes, but it all comes down to Jared and Robert, what they want to do. But I definitely think, like other characters who are negative, we don't really get to see much of their psyche yet. But will it be expanded upon? Yes. When will it happen? I can't say. But I do agree with the whole like the whole like bittersweet feeling sometimes.
Because like, to be honest, I like it when, and this might just be a personal thing. Maybe it's because I'm significantly older. Maybe it's because I've read like a bajillion full drama fanfics and all that stuff. So I'm like just used to the stuff. But I like it when the characters are like, they show their human flaws. They show that like they spiral and regress, and they show their more flawed and problematic sides. It's like, that's interesting to me because human beings are inherently flawed, right? If everyone's nice and learn from their mistakes after like one thing, it's like, it's kind of boring. It's like,
no. There's not like, oh wow, you're right, I should stop putting buttermilk in my pancakes. Like, that's not going to be the resolution. Like, no.
So random.
I don't know. I made it up, but yeah. Like, there's definitely we don't just like go like, oh yeah, 1 + 1 = 2. You're right. Like, it's not gonna be like that easy for a certain character. Or like maybe most, if not all. Like, it's gonna be very much like not being like the whole. Oh, I can't talk about episode 4, but next podcast I'll explain about how like something isn't resolved, even if it feel like it does.
So I mentioned this a few times even before DC4 was written, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I think I came into the season expecting it to be less like if for example in All Stars, if there was like 5 strategy moments and 1 human bonding moment, I would expect it to be closer to like 3 strategy moments and then 3 bonding moments per episode, right? More balanced. Because I did notice how the strategy of the game was really starting to affect characterization, where instead of like, for example, Jake and Ashley bonding, it would be like, hey, let's flip the votes because then we'll be on the bottom and then she'll be a threat. Then we gotta have a meat shield, right? Or we'll be toast. We'll be next to Lion.
Yeah, stop.
I noticed like how common those dialogues were, right? Those like strategy talks would overtake organic bonding moments, and I thought, I was like, this might be an issue going forward because like you can only do this for so long, right?
No, I agree, and this is exactly why I master on and write in is finding ways to go for strategy, but ways that can expand the bound of character too. Like, I'm not gonna be like, all right, guys, we gotta sway the votes, sway them with the wind. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, that dialogue's gonna happen, but I find ways to, like in other prefers too. They've been very good at this. Is finding ways to have the strategy moments, but also show ways of deeper of each character based on how they play, based on how they approach people. There's definitely going to be human moments out of the strategy for sure. It doesn't mean every strategy is going to be emotional. Let's be honest about that. There's still going to be big brain genius moves, but I do think what's really fun is when they make a move, we get to see a bit more of their character show based on how they play. And I think that's something that hasn't really been approached by Disventure Camp as much, like maybe Rhea and Alec, but I think for general, because I know people are saying, wow, there's a not protagonist, that's a lie. There's like people who aren't like inherently villains, but they're still playing the game. I'm like, yes, exactly. Because we don't want to have it where like the villains are like overly dominant, or if there is a villain. But like also we want like the good people to at least be readable in the game. It's like, you know what, they're actually trying their best, they're doing in the work. And I think what is going to show is this is the most probably competitive season because of the balance. But obviously, the people are like, oh, wow, this season had a better strategist. I'm like, you know what? Sure. But that, because I'm like, they didn't really have much humanization moments to really, like, compare, if that makes sense. So, like, it really is a pick and choose kind of thing. And we just tried to pick both. And I think both do work well. It's just, like I said, it's really early in the game. So you can't really just, like, you can't be like, okay, let's play big. Or, like, not everyone's going to play big at the start. Like, some of them, like, wait to hold in the gas. Some of them just throw out all the gas. So, like, we can't do that for every character, just throw out every piece of gas yet. They're going to want to hold on to it. So it definitely is, like, very character related to gameplay and, like, how they are as a person.
Yeah, that's something you said really strike a chord with me, where, this season is obviously a lot longer. It's 26 episodes compared to the other seasons, which are either 13 or 21 episodes. And I think a lot of people just aren't used to that anymore. And I mentioned this in All Stars, but now it'll be even worse because there's even more episodes now, right? Where the pacing will naturally be slower. So if someone doesn't do anything, they're not like fodder. They're not going to be like, you know, like a what's an example? What's a good example? I don't know. Have a good, like Purple Kelly, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's Survivor, but you know.
No, everyone's gonna be active eventually. It's just like it's just a premiere just like really early on. We only like as Jpeg thinks so far, there's only 2 eliminated he's seen. So not gonna be like, all right, let's vote out Alessio. Let's make an awesome idol blindside. Isabel, throw your idol in there. All that stuff. Like we're not gonna like shoot every firework yet. Like we need a little more for like future episodes. So it definitely is something we've been trying to work upon. Is like also eliminations too. As for All Stars, I think you know this a lot with Gabby and Ali about the reception for that, right? Unless you want to talk about it more. Yeah. Stuff like that has been like made sure not go over the cracks. Like no one gets voted out for that reason anymore. Like that's probably why auto eliminations are going to be a struggle, but they're probably going to happen if like it is a 3-person finale, like something like that. Like it's gonna eventually lead to controversies. Like, damn, why did this happen? I'm like, it's tough certain times because it can't be a vote every episode. Otherwise, it's gonna be like, But I think but I can't confirm if there's gonna be a vote every episode or not. That's gonna be left up to the fans. But we definitely made sure not to have a backpack ripped or someone's TikToks to get deleted. So, yeah.
Oh man, it's interesting because like the 26 episode structure, you know, I feel like people aren't used to that. They're more used to like the Total Drama Reboot, which in my opinion has more of a Netflix style, where you can like watch any episode and you'll pretty much get it. Like every episode is self-contained. I feel Reboot. Because it's designed to be. That's like why a lot of movies nowadays they start off with a big action scene because the viewers they're only going to watch the first like 5 minutes to see if they want to continue, right? So of course you have to like grip their attention immediately, right? And I don't like that. I like stories that take it slow and build up to the epic moments, right? I don't like stories where it's just like right off the bat you just need constant dopamine. I really don't like that.
Yeah, like,
I feel like that makes storytelling really messy and unstructured, right?
Yeah, like DC4 kind of does that with the confessionals and like the cool helicopter shots, but that's just Survivor in general does that. So like it's just meant to be like a little like expositionary due to that nature, but like it also is to engage the fans. We do have to think about that. Like we can't have a longer scene that goes deep because then like Jared's like, yo, if it's in a boring setting, we gotta do it quick, do it very choppy, like get it done with. I don't know, because of the attention spans.
Yeah,
but we do also try to like cater to the older fans, give these deeper talks. They're gonna be there. So it very much is a balancing act where like you get your like the younger audience get their little silly challenges and their cool eliminations, and the older fans get these deeper talks and like seeing characters like lives constructed and deconstructed in real time. So I do think with All Stars, like we do want to try to touch more into people's like lives. Like that's why you see all the families together and like you see all these like cool glimpses you would never see in the game. And I think that is something we've been like wanting to do, and I'm glad it's there. So I definitely think there's gonna be a more personal connection with this cast due to how close you get with them very early on, and it's a 26 episode season.
Yeah, no. I'm very excited. As someone, I remember back in the day when Revenge of the Island and All Stars, Total Drama All Stars were coming out and stuff. People really wanted 26 episode seasons. And nowadays I'm seeing, like, obviously not everyone, but here and there, people are like, I don't like the 26 episodes. I wish it was 13. I was like, no, what the heck? Like, everyone wanted 26 back in the day. Like, people were clamoring for slower seasons, right?
Yeah, no, I wanted 26 also. And I got it now, so I'm happy.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. This is the first project since Redonkulous Race, official or fan project, that actually has 26 episodes. For some reason, 13 kind of became the meta, and it's like, I don't know why. I thought people wanted
I think it's just because they wanted to get in and out with episodes. Like, hell, AC was like 10. So, like, I know Jared and Robert have always been trying to take the slow route to eventually get bigger, and I think their work has paid off. And that's why all the departments, like, try their best now to, like, get that same passion. It's like, oh, we have more episodes this time. Let's make sure we go it out the back. Like, even storyboards, like, they have more expressiveness because they would just want to have way more fun confessionals and just, like, scenes in general that I think has been very determined. It's like, this is a big season. This can be something that's going to go down in, like, elimination show genre history. Why don't we just, like, go and kill it? So I definitely think this has the most, like, determination for a DC season to get right.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot hanging on this one. I'm really sad that it doesn't get nearly as many views as the previous season. Well, I mean, All Stars did. But that's mainly because All Stars was such a celebration of the show and the genre, so naturally it'll have more views, right?
That too, also, and because how that cast is established, and people are already big fans of Aiden and Tom and Jake, so they already had what they were looking for going into it. But while DC4, it's kind of like, what's going on? What are they doing? And the thing is, you don't know what we're doing. That's the whole point. So it definitely has people like wonder what's going on with this cast. I think this cast will be well received soon. It's just everything going on with the whole algorithm getting disrupted for the first episode with the gap, and then like with the spinoffs messing with it, and then also like the episode 3 situation going on that had to get delayed and it got 1 day off, and now it's like it tanked due to it, even though it went viral on Twitter. It definitely is trying to catch momentum.
The Toon Boom situation is partially why the podcast is back, because the weekly structure of the later episodes of DC All Stars that caused a lot of burnout. The fact that it's 2 weeks now, the season will end in like November. It's like, you know what, that's fine. That's long enough gaps where I'm comfortable doing the podcast again. Right?
Yeah.
But last comment before we jump into the episodes. So here's an interesting thing: DC1 and DC All Stars, both of those seasons, the proofreaders were all around the same age. It was myself, Michael, Weister, Tam, and Silly Billy. And we're all like about a year apart from each other, the oldest being like 24, the youngest being like 23. So we mostly agreed on stuff. I think what's interesting this season is that the proofreaders and writers are either millennials or like middle Gen Z, whereas the previous seasons were like early Gen Z. You know what I mean? People ranging from like 20 to 30. And like Michael's the only one who's like in the middle era, I guess, the middle age. Not middle age, but like, the median age, I guess. And I think that's very interesting just because these first few episodes, you can kind of sense a different vibe. Maybe I'm biased because like obviously I was a proofreader, but like I look at those first few seasons, DC1 and DC All Stars, and they kind of scream like early Gen Z, right? This one screams like closer to millennial.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
I'll be honest. I honestly had a read where like, oh god, episode 1, this is gonna be like total drama reboot, and then I got episode 2 script. I'm like, wait, this is interesting. This is not reboot. Yeah. So if someone just had that funny feel because of like the whole like look at the roller coasters and like what was that a challenge? Make it a home. So like it definitely gave off more like friendly vibes. And the next episode's just beating people up with a stick. So I'm like, okay, we're back to DC.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be interesting because I know a lot of people on Twitter, they want to make their own shows, and they are like middle to even late Gen Z, honestly. So naturally, they'll be very inspired by the Total Drama reboot, but you guys really aren't, right?
No, not really at all.
Because a lot of you are on the older side, where Total Drama reboot, you didn't grow up with it, it's not in your nostalgia or anything like that, right?
No, when I watched Total Drama reboot, it just went out the other hatch, to be honest. I respect what it does, and it's cool to see all the new writers they got that are diversity focused, and it does help show, and it's good for the media. I just feel like it didn't resonate with me much due to the timing. Like maybe if it came out years before, or maybe it wasn't structured for like TikTokers, maybe I'd be more crazy over it. But it's solid.
Same with Reality Resort. Where those writers are more so older. I think.
Like and it shows.
So you can show like it's more Survivor Big Brother inspired than the reboot, whereas most fan shows being made on Twitter nowadays, there's a lot of influence from even Danganronpa, and the reboot seasons, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what Disventure Camp has that's very unique. It just has like an older writing style, I'd say.
Yeah, I definitely. And I do want to shout out Reality Resort because like 3 episodes is insane for a fan drama, and it's like that detailed animation for like it's like Cove's like first animated and like voice acted season. So I do think that's really awesome altogether for that to be getting already. Like some leeway. I got 100K views, I'm pretty sure. Maybe more. I haven't checked yet. My bad. But yeah, as you do say, DC definitely has an older writing style. We all like know how to like go deep with these characters. Like even though it's like, oh, it's just gonna be friendly and roses. I'm like, nah, we'll see. Like maybe it will just be friendly and roses, and maybe we don't subvert anyone's expectations. But like, when has DC ever not subverted people's expectations? That's all I gotta say. When have we not tricked everyone?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're about to get into it, but yeah, there's some things that it's like I know that Jared, Robert, Chase, and Leo are all millennials, so it's like I'm like, oh, this is like millennial, you know. compared to, again, like when all the proofreaders were early Gen Z, it was like we had like a majority. So it's like what we said usually swayed the perception, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's weird. It's hard to explain.
I still do think
like
there's.
Younger...
It's not like really that bad, thankfully. Like it's actually really easy to work there with the proofreaders. I'd say very wonderful group. Very like there's just never really a disagreement. And if there is, we handle it privately, and it just goes away in like a minute. So like, I think what is good is that we're really unified, which I don't think Jared likes that much sometimes. Love you, Jared. It's very tough because whenever a proofreader like agrees with something, then it's like, what about the other perspective? That's what Jared thinks about too. So it definitely is very much, sometimes maybe being in agreement isn't the best way to approach it, but like I have a habit of always looking outside the box, which is good, but also sabotages me sometimes. So like, yeah.
I don't know. I love Jared. He's so like
he's
Michael
wonderful.
said this in the finale of DC All Stars, where sometimes like Michael will add something, Jared will like it, Michael won't add it, and then Jared will be like, why did you not add it? I told you, I love this.
Yeah, no, exactly. That is exactly the chaos that happens sometimes. Poor Michael.
It's kind of funny. It's like positive criticism. It's like, dude, I told you to add it. It's great. I love your writing. It's great.
Yeah. No.
But that's enough talk about the pre-stuff. Now it's time to actually jump into the episodes for like 30 minutes. As I said, I didn't see the scripts because I was burnt out and I was, focusing on the podcast. And also like weekly episodes. That really tired me the hell out. But
yeah.
But I do know the first few boots. Like, to be transparent, I knew the first few boots. I knew the first 3 boots. Now I'm not spoiled. Now I don't know after this, but
yeah, good.
Episode 1 to 4, I knew the general plot beats.
I do think 1 to 3 are kind of like, obviously 1's an elimination. Everyone knew that. Then 2 and 3 are really gimmies. One person in the proofreader room had better faith in Alessio, but I understand that. I really. But yeah. No, I'll be honest, when we got episode 1, we didn't hear the voice cast, so we were proofing episode 2. Jace was like, we're going to do a table read. I'm like, oh, cool. I saw this voice cast. I thought episode 1 was going to be like, okay, a 4 out of 10. Not that bad. Well, wait, that's bad, actually. Like a 5.5 out of 10. Like, it's solid. And I see this voice cast, I'm like, oh, shit. This is an insane voice cast. It's not... if our brain sucks, it'll carry us.
It's the same thing with DC1, where... when we first made those episodes with proofreading and stuff, we had no idea what the voices were. So it was really like, we had no idea what any of these people sounded like. And like once we heard the voices, and especially in All Stars, it was like, okay, we have a better image of what to do now, right?
I'll be honest, I did not expect one does Minnesotan. That surprised me, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I like it.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
So anyway, as I said, we're just going to talk about notes of the episode, my notes, my observations, and we'll expand on them. So my very first note, right, was that I think going into this, I just naturally expected it to kind of be like Pakateo, where there's very few references to the first few seasons.
I can't answer that.
And what? Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm like, yeah, there is references, yeah, but it's very like some people do connect dots that they're not dots, like. Should I talk about? Yeah, I could talk about one of them, like the Tristan audition. People are like, oh wow, this is like Hunter's confession. I'm like, no, this is just general writing. Like we just did it because like that's like they're a sociable person.
Yeah, no. But in regards to the first 3 episodes, there really isn't any like direct reference. The very one of the only references, I think the only reference, not Freckles Jr. Freckles Jr. is a chicken. To a contestant. The only direct reference to a contestant was Ivy's comment on Rhea, saying like, I want to win the right way or something like that. It wasn't even a direct reference, but you kind of know what it's referring to. Which, by the way, did spoil Imer, because when Imer read that, he didn't know what the DC All-Stars finale yet.
Yeah, no, I had this an episode like before the motel. I saw this, I was like, okay, yeah, Rhea's winning. But I'll be honest, when I got like the Ashley bit, I was like, okay, Rhea, you skyrocketed my winning predictions, go to the top 3. Because like I didn't catch a confessional. And then with the whole like Connor's like the most hungry person will win, I'm like, wait, Rhea's hungry for this win. So like when I got the confessional, I was like, oh yeah, sure, that works out. And that's also because we had episode 17 at the time, like we all knew. But somehow the VAs didn't. They all predicted Jake. Well, some of them probably didn't. But like,
I mean, everyone predicted Jake. They're like, oh, Audition cartoons are doing the most predictable thing ever. They're like,
but also not because it's predictable. It's probably just because like it's All Stars. People think it's a celebration. But I also think it's like a subversion. Is that it's not a celebration of who you think it is. And like, But yeah, no, I got spoiled. This is funny. For Tom Jake, there's a scene where Jake's like getting a job. So then like, shout out to Keith. Keith knew Jake didn't win, and like Keith and I would just theorize about the finale, even though we both freaking knew the winner. We're just gonna tell each other because of you know what. Like, it was funny. I have it on me. I wrote this as a note because I knew this was gonna be talked about. Yes, it's pretty much Rhea, but it's not Rhea. Because, yeah, like it says on the show, so it's like pretty much determined to be Rhea, but I don't really perceive it that way, if that makes sense. Like, when I think about this, like, confessional, I think it's more about generalized. Like, I don't think Ivy would hate Rhea, if that makes sense.
You know, and also it kind of makes sense to like James as well. He also like won. He's like an actor. It's like, you know.
Yeah, like
there's multiple interpretations, I guess.
Yeah, like it says actors on the show. Like everyone who is on a reality TV show is considered a character, even though they're real human beings. But to the fans' perception, it is. But no, like it's definitely going to be connected back to Rhea. But I don't think Ivy's source of like people she despises is Rhea. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm not gonna predict too much. I don't really like predicting this stuff, especially because there's only 3 episodes. Maybe like later on in the season I'll do prediction stuff. But my prediction is that Ivy won't win, and I feel confident that it's like I have a 17 and 18 chance of getting that right, just because like having 3 actor winners, you know, especially like in a row chronologically. It's
fair, James wasn't really an actor winner at the time, but I see what you mean.
It's like close enough. I like TikTok, and I was like close enough.
Well, he became an actor in Tom Jake, so like, yeah, but.
It's like close enough, Dak.
It is close enough, but like, who knows though? DC never is the obvious route.
That's my prediction. And also, like, at the moment, Ivy strikes me as kind of the female protagonist type that Total Drama likes, you know, Beth and Zoe, Sky, arguably Priya, stuff like that, right? And I feel like Disventure Camp, they don't want to do that. They don't want. I guess to be fair, they all did make Final 2, right? Yeah, Beth. Zoe's. Yeah, they all did make Final 2. I think it would be a little predictable because obviously Disventure Camp doesn't always do that. Like Lake has never even made top 7. I don't think.
Oh no, poor Lake.
There's never been like a traditional female protagonist type ever made the final 3. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't know. Maybe Abby will be the first. Who knows?
Maybe I don't know. You consider Allie like kinda, or yeah, like it depends. Like there's not really like even the protagonist of a DC season isn't that like morally amazing. So like it really depends on what you like, what you think really. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Actually, Hannah could also be in that mold, honestly. I don't know much about her yet. Well, we don't know much about anyone yet.
Yeah, no, that's the point. You don't know.
It's a battle of who's the female protagonist girl archetype. Who's it going to be? It's one of those 2.
We'll see.
Anyway, my next note, and this is a quick one, is that this is more so my beef with the TV tropes page of the Disventure Camp. The TV tropes page says that the challenge, which is build a shelter, is a Pockettail Island reference. And I'm like, no, that's not a Pockettail Island reference. That's a Survivor reference.
No.
What are you talking about?
So with proofreading, you'll do the reaction notes. I wrote a reaction note like, oh my god, it's a Survivor reference. They're building a shelter. And then the freaking TV tropes page is like Pockettail Island. I'm like, what?
No. I think most people need to realize that Jared and Robert are Survivor fans first and then Total Drama fans second. Like, if there's anything that's like inspired by Total Drama, it'll most likely be inspired by Survivor first, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I think Disventure Camp has such an amount of influence on the genre. It's really interesting. Like, for example, the idols, whenever they're in fan shows, are always played before the votes now, unlike Total Drama. The votes are almost always read out now, right? Instead of the marshmallow ceremony, right?
Yeah, no.
I think a lot of people don't realize just how these tropes are like slowly evolving to go away from Total Drama and closer to Survivor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like obviously the art style, I'll give it that. Like it is Total Drama art style, but you can't copyright an art style. So you can't like obviously though. Like then you guys say Clone High is just Total Drama Rama, high school edition. Like no one says that. So yeah, but I do. Oh, sorry, I dropped something. But I do think that eventually this season will maybe separate more from TD. I know Reality Resort's even doing that too recently, the first 3 episodes. But that's because Reality Resort's form is very like has a lot of like options to go forward. It's not like a straightforward formula, which is interesting, but maybe it's hard to like write it for that. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I think after DC4 ends, I think it'll be more separated from Total Drama, but you can never separate the art style because there's going to be that one fan's like, what is this new Total Drama season? Where's my marshmallows? Why are there votes now? Like, that's always going to happen. Like, you can't stop that because it's an art style. And I don't think DC's ever changed their art style ever because it works and they have rigs already that show they're technically well in making this art style. So there's always going to be Total Drama comparisons. Like, there's never going to be a way in that.
One time because I said something like the DC4 designs are so different from Total Drama, and I'm gonna stand by that. I'm right because I don't think of the reboot. Like maybe with the reboot it's closer, but I'm not thinking of the reboot. I didn't grow up with that. That's not in my nostalgia. I'm thinking of the pre 2015 designs, and I'm like, yeah, this is. It's like night and day from those designs, right?
I'll be honest, this is so funny. I went into the DC production, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see these new art style designs. Because before everyone got the silhouettes, we got hired. Like, literally, day of when they got the silhouettes, we got to see the full designs. I saw them, like, oh, like, there's nothing different besides the lips. But also because of the... It looks different to me. It looks super different. But I do think the colorness, too, like, they got way better colors. Like, you can see people's skins more alive, like All Stars a bit, but even better. And also I think like the eye shapes are different, and the body types too. Like you never would see that in Total Drama. Like they feel just so more human, like stuff you would see like a day to day. It's like going to work.
Yeah, like I said, I'm thinking of like pre 2015 Total Drama, what I grew up with, and all the girls there are like super skinny, right? They're all like the same model, right?
Yeah, like exactly. Like they're all like the same head shape, but now no, like DC4 has like gone differently. Like even like there's like lips like that are so different, and like there's like earrings now that have like really different designs. Like Ivy has like a heart, and there's other stuff like that. Like Jade has like a square, or a rectangle. I mean, but yeah, it definitely has it to where it's not like reused a bit, and it's more like new. Like you can tell that Arts, who is like someone who did the designs, has experience of different body types and different shapes that it has helped distinct the DC forecast more.
I think about the reboot so little. Like when I see people on Twitter talking about like Bowie, I'm thinking like David Bowie. I'm like, why are you guys talking about David Bowie?
Yeah, no.
I don't really think of the reboot. It just doesn't enter my brain, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, the panning shots, this kind of goes without saying, but the panning shots, really beautiful when you look around the carnival, you see all the different attractions and the tents and all that stuff. It's really great.
Yeah, really no. Prop star department.
Like, I really wish that most fan shows, they start straying away from the island or camp format, because you can be so creative. Like Action World Tour, for example, those did not need to stay in the same location. And granted, making all these backgrounds can be expensive, right, or time-consuming. Yes. But like, you know, just like even like going to like a school, for example, or like a playground,
school,
right, instead of a camp.
No.
It's like,
no, everyone's gonna have total drama. Yes. I think the problem is DC4 is insanely expensive. Like, the money that they get from All-Stars went into DC4. Like, we didn't have, like, revenue to pay, like, I say we, but that's more, like, showrunner stuff. They didn't have the money to pay the artists, to pay the voice... Well, the voice actors don't get paid minus Credence because of the situation going on. Heck, like, certain departments are getting funded less due to it all, but shout out to the patrons and Jacob, who really did help DC get back on its feet. We can get back storyboarders here that get fired because they weren't voluntary, or we can get back other positions that we lost that are going to critically affect our show. So eventually and slowly we'll get everything back, but for now, yes, it's very like no man's land for like a few seconds, but it's good now. It's good.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect too much of the upcoming episodes because of the Toon Boom incident. Hopefully that doesn't.
It probably won't. It's just probably like Patreon releases might have like a little less animation. Like you saw how there's like established and shot. Well, you didn't see that because you didn't get the Patreon episode. But you would see like established and shot, not ready for like one of the scenes. I'm like, oh, okay.
Unexpected cameo. There was a cameo that actually shocked me because I never heard about it. And it's the funniest thing ever. I don't know if the Dispatch popularized it because as you may remember, we had like a really long bit about this. The nun showed up.
Yeah,
the nun that Fiore hit or whatever. I was like, I was actually so surprised. I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
I can get the script in check. Where is Isabel? I got shocked too because I didn't see that coming. I thought, okay, what is she doing here? That was not in the script. I All right,
if you remember the Alec in the Rytex episode, we had such a long bit where we talked about the nun for like 5 straight minutes. That was so
yeah,
dumb.
no. And I had no idea the nun was showing up. I think that's just because they need a reused model. But I don't think Isabel lives in Italy, so you'll unless Fiore never lived in Italy to begin with.
Italian, isn't it?
It might be. Yeah, it's just hard to explain right now because of like the whole like location stuff. I have to like pull up a whole map to explain what has gone on with this situation, but maybe that'll be explained.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
I do think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, was the whole nun idea from Isabel, was that because people liked the nun character in DC All-Stars? Was that why? Was it like an ascended meme?
Okay. So, Jared and Robert have heavy inspiration for certain characters. I do think maybe the meme helped a bit. But if you ever watch The Voice, this is probably something I'm not allowed to say, but like it's pretty much known. It's pretty much known. If you watch The Voice, there's a person who's a nun, and they go on a reality TV show. And I forget where they place.
I've never heard of that before. What?
Yeah, it's in a different country. It's on the U.S. It's probably on the Philippines. But, yeah, Jared and Robert watched that. And they're like, yo, well, I don't think they say yo, but like, they're like, oh, wait, that could be an Disventure Camp show. So like, yeah, that The Voice nun was heavily inspired by Isabel. It wasn't because everyone wanted a nun.
The Voice of Italy.
Yeah, The Voice of Italy, yeah. Which probably explains the last name.
What the
yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that. I love it. It's so like interesting. I also know that Mexico and the Philippines as well, they have like large Catholic populations. So I was wondering, like, is this like weird for like the American viewers? Because it's like, I'm sure that in America the Catholic population is significantly smaller. It's not like close to 90%, unlike Mexico and the Philippines.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And that's why also when we write on Isabel, Jared was a source for us to like make sure things sound good, because in Mexico it's like heavily like Catholicism. So like Jared would know what to do basically when it came down to like write in Isabel, if that makes sense.
I see. Yeah, you guys add the Catholic character and the Filipino character when I leave. What the frick?
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm kidding.
no, like you and Tam, you were so close.
I don't know if I don't want to talk about religion too much, but I'm not like actually Catholic.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's so populous in my country, it's like
yeah, no, so exactly. You'd have way more like better expertise than like someone like me. Oh, hello.
I'm not sure what Tam. I'm not sure what Tam is, but
yeah, you'll have to figure it out. No, I'm joking. Don't do that.
I have seen. This is my next note. I have seen a lot of comments recently. Again, we're not going to talk about episode 4, but saying that like episode 1 was like a very peak episode, and all the episodes going forward kind of like it goes downhill.
No.
I'm not sure if that's like a common criticism. Is that a common criticism? I have no idea. But my comment is that like is it because no one gets eliminated in episode 1? It's like they're all friends.
Yeah.
Not friends.
I'm gonna be honest.
Like, social for now. They're all like being like a sitcom. So
when I saw this cast,
watch a sitcom. Watch like any other show. Just don't watch a show where people get eliminated. You know.
Yeah, when we got the whole cast, we're like, damn. Like everyone's gonna like any boot's gonna hurt. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like even if it's not your favorite character, you're gonna be like, oh damn, this character had so much life to them. Why are they gone? Like that's gonna happen for every elimination because we care so much about the eliminated characters this season. But we also care about the characters who go far. So like every character is gonna feel loved, and they're like, wait, we can't lose this person. If I can't watch DC anymore, I'm gonna get hurt no matter who goes home. And I think that's something that's gonna happen. And I think that's why episode 1's a very common denominator episode, is because no one goes home. Everyone has charm, and it's very interesting. It's new. There's like fresh jokes. There's like fresh storytelling. It's just something that people don't want to go expand forward, because like, how are they going to approach this boot order? Because I'm gonna be honest, this is a tough season with boots. Like every like proofer probably have it differently, but we like love the characters overall, so we're like fine with the boot order. Because like it generally is just a strong cast. No matter who wins, I'd be happy. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's I don't know. That's what always annoyed me, but not the genre, because that's like you kind of have to suspend your disbelief and accept the fact that people will be going every episode, right? Or most of every episode. That's what annoyed me, is that people are like, no, it's wasted. It's like someone has to be first, someone has to be second, someone has to be third, right? Like they all can't make all 26 episodes, right?
Exactly. There is going to be certain characters who like have to go home early, as you see Alessio and Amelie. They are the shots of their own faults that they caused and how their first impressions did lead to their own demise. And heck, episode 4 didn't really have great first impressions because they were a target early on because of not being able to hide their own perception and not be able to sway it to where maybe they can use it to deceive them. But instead, they just made it, the perception of me is a reality. Yep, that's just me. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be hard to approach the season because this is the scariest season to be in. I said this, we did this in the Jackbox stream. But like, if we're going to compete in a season, we're not going to compete in season 4 because season 4 is the most intense. It's the wackiest like not wacky, but like it's very like hard to approach.
You can play. You can.
That's exactly what that's what we all said.
Cabins.
That's what we said.
You get cabins. The idol can be played at Final 4. The challenges are fucking easy as hell.
I know. And like everyone's easy to manipulate. Like it's such a gimme that season. But season 4 though, you can't manipulate anyone without like the information being like tossed around because you never know with these people what they're gonna do because it's all like not in your hands. And I think that's going to be tough for some people watching Disventure Camp. It's like, wait, they couldn't do anything. What? This hurts. I'm like, yes, they couldn't do anything. That's the whole point of this show. Or maybe they could have done something, but they don't want to do it.
My comment for that is that there are 6, I did the math earlier, 6 quadrillion permutations of a cast of 18, right? So it's very unlikely that you'll get like the perfect boot order, like, oh, my boot order is, Benji is first, Hannah second, Jay's third, like, et cetera, right? That's never going to happen.
No.
You just... If you don't like, if you're going to complain about a boot order being bad, then maybe watch a different genre, okay? Because you're watching a genre where you don't know what the fuck's going to happen, right? Anyone can go. Right? Like, you can't go into it expecting one thing and then getting really mad when it doesn't go your way, right?
Exactly, and that's how the proofreading process goes. Like, I would love all my comments to get accepted, but if they don't, it's like, it's part of the job. So, and then we got to move on and go forward. It's, yeah. So that's even with the viewers. Like, they got to realize we love all these characters. We don't want the worst for them. We're not saying, yeah, go home, throwing you, I'm putting a spoon behind my pillow, hoping for you to go home. No, we want all of them to go as far as they can and reach their max potential. But in a genre like this, certain characters' storylines have to be short and cut as is. And some of them could go be expanded upon. Maybe it's for another season if we're freaking lucky. But
it's some funny observations from me. So Ted, at one point, or whatever. I think Marissa says something like, "Hey, don't go to the red leaves," and then Ted's like, "Oh, you're hiding it from me." So it's like, what does he do? Does he like actively shit on the red leaves? What would you actively shit on the red leaves? What is like? Oh, I bet those red leaves are really comfy. She's hiding a secret, so he takes a shit. On the red leaves.
Like everyone perceives Ted to be a genius, but he also is a comedic relief person where he just has massive trust issues, and I think it goes into where like. People like Anastasia able to read him to filth. He's like, this person, I can't trust. He's a man. Well, it's not just he's a man, but like you can tell based on the vibe, the way he dresses, he looks a little sleazy. That you can kind of tell that he isn't someone who really cares about others' opinions from the face value of things. And as proven, Anastasia's kind of right because he didn't care what Marissa said, even though she was giving him genuine advice. He saw it as like, damn, that's my competition. I can't trust them. They want me to see me at my worst. And I think that in Paranoia is always going to be a thing in DC. Like, let's be honest. Like, look at every person like Jake and all that. Like, Paranoia is just always going to be an attachment on this kind of show because, like, you never know. You never know. Maybe those red leaves were super comfortable. Like, it really...
I took a shit on red leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyway, Richard, he makes a comment saying, like, oh, that's the biggest one I've ever seen. And then... it's like, what the heck? It's like about the mole. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, no, Richard, you meant the ass. You were baiting Logan. You're trying to have a perverted moment. To me, it's like when I say like, oh, I'm coming, Imer. Like, what? No, I meant it innocently. I didn't mean it like that.
You never mean things like, innocently, Jpeg. But I'll be honest.
That's a vibe I got.
When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely was staring at the ass.
So he's like baiting.
But Richard definitely.
No, get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's like, Richard, you're the one that needs to get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He did that on purpose.
Like, he's just gonna use his seniority a little bit to like, yeah, no, it wasn't me. I was just, damn, that mole. Where did it go? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest.
I noticed there was a mole. I thought that was like a stab wound or something. I didn't know what it was.
No, I'm gonna be honest. When I got the scene, I was like, all right, it's okay. It won't be that bad because it'll be censored. They didn't censor it.
It was not censored. No.
No.
Censored. It's the first nudity since fucking DC2. Jesus Christ! Oh, not including Nick's ass like in that one scene.
Yeah,
it's the first nudity since DC2.
And will it be the only nudity? We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. So the next one is that the alliances. Immediately, there's an alliance for the girls, and I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first Battle of the Sexes alliance that lasts more than one episode. Because the other ones, they only last like one episode.
Well, Rosa and Maggie and Lake's alliance kind of lasted for like till episode 4. Or 5.
That wasn't like specifically like a girl thing though. That was just more convenience, right?
Yeah, it was more convenient because like they didn't include Kiro, so it wasn't really just a girl thing. It was more just like, yeah, we're friends. Why don't we just keep each other alive? Like, but yeah, no, this is that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that crazy over gender alliances, but I feel like for Blue Team, it's a necessary evil. Like you need this girls alliance, otherwise, the story is just gonna be like, how did they survive? And they're still like,
yeah.
You kind of need it. And it's like, yeah, I know, gender alliances, like, if it was up to me, there wouldn't be. But, like, the same time is, like, if you look at the stats, yeah, like, let me look. Like, there's, like, there's only 6 women who made the finale, and it's 9 people. So, there's 6 women, 3 men. Most of the people that do make finale, that usually do get to the final 2 are usually men. So, like, it definitely is like, okay, women, let's keep our numbers up a bit. But it's still like, you never know. Like, maybe they'll switch out. Like, I think the thing with women's alliance, it's never like, okay, yeah, it's going to pick off every man. It's going to be wonderful. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I think it's just left there because we needed a certain boot order to work the season.
Yeah. I think for me, personally, I don't like it when alliances get together through arbitrary means. Like, you know, it reminds me of like school where it's like, I'll befriend Johnny, he's in class A, and it's like, why can't you befriend Danny from class B? You know, if you have the same likes,
and the thing is too,
classes doesn't mean you can't be friends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's why I like the what's it called, the Vibe Tribe. I think that's what it's called. That alliance. Like,
yeah, that one's fun.
They got together because they're all friendly, right? That's fun.
And also, it's not like a 5-person alliance and a 9-person team. It's 6 people. So like, it's like, wait. Yeah. There's not much. There's like, it's not really just about numbers. It's more just about like their vibes. Like, yeah, I want to work with these people. I don't care if it's not the best for my game. Yeah. It looks fun. While the blue team's like, no, it's best for our game. We're doing this.
I don't even know the difference between the teams. To be honest, I haven't I'm still.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. What I do like though, even though I don't really like the gendered alliances, is that like they're begrudgingly working together, and I kind of like that because. Previously, the gender alliances always implode like in one episode.
Yeah, no.
Like it was nice that like even though there's beef, it's like they're working together still. It's
like
they have beef, but let's still work together. Kind of
exactly, and that's logic. Because everyone's like, they get tired of like, oh wow, that's freaking Stacy. She flipped on us. She ruined a good thing. She would have been at Final 4 and won the season if she didn't flip. So yeah, they're not flipping. Every character in the season is playing smart. It's just the hand that they're dealt isn't really the best hand sometimes. Like. It's just, like not going to happen just because of the social dynamics at play. And it's kind of hard for them to escape their position and their faith. Like, once your fate is met, it's gone. Like, you can't do much about it. And I think the first 2 boots kind of resemble that. Like, they couldn't really get out of it because what was said at the start couldn't be undone. And that was definitely a tragedy meant to happen for both of the characters.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. The episode continues. There's an interesting dynamic that happens when Amelie, I think that's how you pronounce it, Amelie, is telling the character what to do.
Amelie.
Hannah asks... Yeah, Amelie, yeah, that's right. Not Amelie. Amelie. Hannah asks, like, what's the plan? And so Amelie starts taking leadership, and then Hannah says, like, oh, who didn't make you leader? I was like, well, you're the one who asked people to make a plan, and then she complained.
Who was that again?
I don't know if this is intentional, Hannah, with Amelie.
Yeah, that is intentional.
So Hannah's like, what's the plan? And then, so I found that interesting how, even though, what was it? Even though it was specifically Hannah who asked for someone to make a plan, and then someone did make a plan, and then Hannah immediately is like, no, you're being bossy. It's like, what?
Yeah.
This is what you asked for. You asked for this.
Yeah, Hannah's the second youngest contestant. That definitely comes into play with the youth. And also remember, she's a recruit. So, like, you double that factor in. She isn't really used to, like, gameplay. So like when she sees like Amelie being assertive players, like, what do you mean you're assertive? This is a democracy here. We're not like allowing one person to like take charge. So
Yeah.
you can talk more
The
on it
ironic
though.
thing is that she kind of let Diego take charge.
Yeah.
But no, I find that interesting. How that's a character flaw. I am a little worried because like you do need to draw the fine line when writing character flaws, because I think some people are like, oh, it's bad writing. She contradicted herself, and it's like, no, I feel like that's a intentional character flaw, right? Same thing, because okay, I do know a small spoiler that Hannah in episode 4, I think she mentions that she views Amelie like her mom or something like that.
Yes.
Which explains why there's a bit of a dynamic there. I was spoiled on that.
It's okay though. It's not that
I
big.
found that
but...
interesting how y'all are depicting this kind of like relationship, I guess.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Like a lot of people are used to the mother-son dynamic because of like Miriam and Jake, but I do feel like for the mother and daughter dynamic with Hannah and Amelie are definitely very up to a point where it's like you can tell if you watch Hannah's trauma backstory, like American Idol backstory, that she's lost her whole family. She's pretty much like she's pretty much alone. She doesn't really have any of those figures. I don't know if she has siblings. I gotta double check. But yeah, without losing those parental figures, Hannah's like at a point in her life where she feels kind of like, what's the word, like trapped a bit? I don't know if trapped, that might be the wrong word. But like she doesn't really have like that guidance to her, and she had to figure out mostly on her own. Like she has grandparents, sibling, whatever. I don't know if that's ever mentioned. You can cut that out if it wasn't. But yeah, probably cut that out. I don't know if it's ever going to be mentioned. So yeah.
No. Fuck
yeah.
I'm not cutting anything. I'm kidding.
But yeah, all right. Go back to the point. Yeah, Hannah. Definitely.
We have to move on. We can't spend this long on the notes, by the way.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, it definitely is just a matter of how her life has been to where she is now, to why Amelie is important to her.
Yeah. Some of these notes are just like, I say it, and then you say like a one or two sentence quip, and then we move on.
My bad.
Like short notes.
That's right. Just cut that whole section out.
Benji makes a joke about head. He knew what he was doing. Let's be honest. He's a little pervert. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. We'll see.
So I think like I knew the boot order because I was part of the proofreading team at the beginning, and I read some of the things. I feel like even if I was blind, Amelie is very like bossy woman second boot coded, which you see with Eva and Carol in the Total Drama and season 2, right?
Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't a Wake-a-thon. And I don't know if you know this, Imer, but in the past, like almost every fanfic or fan work would have the bossy woman be second boot in an Wake-a-thon. That was
that's exactly.
So often. It is not original.
That's exactly. I was like, damn. Right. When I got this like episode 1 script, I was scared Amelie was perceived as Carol because of this. Well, Eva too, but like Carol because of the DC connection. Like they're doing it again. But big shout out to Jared. Even had this concern too. But and the person who voices Amelie, it eased all of our concerns when we heard it for the first time. The table readers like, okay, we're good, we're set. And I think it adds that like we're trying to get like this away from Carol thing. You'll see in certain dialogues to show the passion she has for her team, as Amelie mentions in the water scene in episode 1. But yeah, like obviously she's never gonna last far just because of the stress of Sandon. And also because, let's be honest, everyone on that team is young except for Amelie, Ivy, Zayd, and Jade. So, like, they weren't ever gonna... Like, Amelie is just, like, the oldest person there. So, like, yeah, let's get rid of her. She doesn't want us to stay up at, like, 2 a.m. Like, so, yeah, I wish you could have avoided it. But it's kind of a necessary evil to, like, establish other characters. But I do think Amelie is someone who I do respect a lot for the storyline she has. Even if it's kind of something we've seen a bit before, but it has a new spin to it.
But I think one criticism I would have is that I feel like the names of the characters aren't said that often this season. I feel like the first like 3 episodes, like I don't think they've said Zayd's name more than like twice, for example.
Yeah, but that's what confessionals
are
for too.
That's actually making it hard for me to remember. Like I know it has the little Chiron with the names on it, but I think like when you are writing a new show, you kind of the first few episodes you have to like be like, hello Rachel, how are you, Rachel, how are you, like Ross, are you doing well? Like, you have to mention their names a lot so that the viewers can like remember, because obviously a lot of the fans aren't gonna have like the lists of the names, the ages, and the sexualities and all that stuff like on hand. At least for me, it is making it like harder to remember names.
Yeah, like I said, 18 characters, you never met them. Like, it's always, I was like, expecting people to forget their names for a bit, but I think that's why I'm glad we had the interviews, because if you watch those, you're like, oh, wait, this really dissects each character, now I can remember their names a bit, because the signs are so distinct. But if you didn't watch the interviews, it'll take you, like, the first 3-4 episodes to, like, get to it. So, like, it depends, like, what type of fan you are, I think. But we do approach it for all types of fans.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, at least in my proofreading stuff, I made sure to put the names a lot. Like, oh, Jake, Allie is being bad. Oh, yeah, Allie, yeah, Jake, come on, Jake, let's go. Get over here, Tom. Like, reference the names a lot to, like, help the viewers, like, remember their names.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of want to, like, look at the script and just see how many times the names are mentioned. Because I feel like some of these names are mentioned, like twice and then never again. It's like, what? It's harder. You have to constantly bring them up, you know?
Yeah. Later episodes have a lot of name mentions, but, like, we can't really do it back now because the episodes are out. They've been approved. But, like, I do think, I don't mind characters being unseen because it helps our edit a bit to, like, kind of, like, have it to where when they need to be seen, they will be seen. But when they don't need to, we're fine if people don't remember them. Like, it's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of, like, laid back. Like, it's not that huge a necessity, but I do see what you mean.
Here's the next thing with Spencer. And by the way, for the longest time, I thought Spencer, like a month ago, I thought like Spencer and Benji were the same characters. They look so similar. I just assumed they were
similar. Because
and I was like, wait, this is two different people.
Everyone made fun of me for this since episode 1. I would mix Spencer and Logan's names up. They're like, I'm like, yeah, yo, I love that, like, Logan and Jade alliance. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, wait.
In regards to Spencer, because I know that his voice actor isn't British, it kind of gives the Nick effect, which is kind of funny. You know, where like whenever Nick talks, it's like such an interesting accent.
But yeah, fun fact though, I could say this too. Harry did study like language accents, and I think one of them was British. So that's like, I love Derek. I work with Derek, but Harry is more trained for this type of accent due to the experience given from their life. But like, Derek's isn't that bad, but I do see me with like the whole like subversion, like now you know, and it's like, oh.
So Ivy has a backstory. By the way, this is unrelated to the notes, but I have a conspiracy theory that maybe I had a very small role in influencing Ivy's design. Because for like many months, I had a profile pic of a character that like vaguely resembles Ivy. That's my conspiracy theory. I'm gonna believe in it, even if it's not true.
I'll share it out then episode 26 when it airs. Like, is Ivy based on Jpeg? And that's all I'll say for the final dispatch.
The profile pic. I had a character. Her name is Phi from the game Zero Time Dilemma, and like she kind of looked like I'm looking at Ivy's design. I'm like, that's like kind of like close. Like it's like a short-haired like white woman, I guess.
Do you know you can ask though, Ordarts? Close. Because Ordarts did.
Maybe, like, I don't know.
I don't remember. I think Ordarts answered that to me, but I forgot. I'll look over for you just in case, and I'll DM it to you, and we can maybe bring it out next dispatch. But like, I don't know. Maybe. It's left their interpretation.
I doubt it's the case, but it's like an interesting because I had that profile pic for so long.
Speaking of Ivy and Dispatch members, should we talk about it? Marks and I got to go to her concert. We're having a good time.
Yeah. Ivy, Tam was Ivy's mom, and then Marks and Imer were silhouettes in the crowd.
And we also were in silhouettes in like Anastasia's crowd. Yeah.
We already got snubbed for All Stars. Why did we get snubbed again?
Oh, you guys got to become Patreon to get that legend tier.
My thought when I saw that scene is like, who puts a little girl on a red carpet? Like, what kind of parents are these? Like, awful parents. Why don't you bring your daughter, like little daughter, to the red carpet?
This reminds me a lot of like Johnny Cage and like Cassie Cage. There's like an ending where you just see like Johnny Cage in a limo with his daughter while he's like in his worst state, like what's it called, intoxicated. So like I just imagine like, damn, yeah, those fucked up Hollywood families are back.
Like, yeah, I've seen comments saying that like Ivy is a nepo baby. And in my opinion, anyone who was born in America or Canada is a nepo baby. You live in a first world country that's like one of the best in the world. You know, in terms of resources, maybe not politics, maybe not, equality, but in terms of resources, yes.
Yeah.
You know, like food, electricity, water.
And people, it's so funny.
To me, you're all nepo babies.
And to me, it's like, what's it called? Like, people are like, damn, Ivy, she has it so much better than Rhea. I'm like, That's the point. That's the point that she had it better than Rhea because like Rhea lived in India, she was in the Hollywood. She had a very famous family. Both her parents were big stars in the industry. It's kind of like being married to like Freddie Prinze Jr. and like remember that Sarah McKellen. Yeah, Sarah McKellar. Yeah, no, she's better. Yeah. But like yeah, like imagine like being born into that and you're going into the acting degree. Of course you're gonna have a very good shot. Like, and I think that's the point with Ivy.
Oh my god.
But like I said,
I like that. It's an interesting parallel to Rhea. What are you saying that people born in first world countries are good people, and then people born in third world countries?
No, I know. No, I defend Rhea, sure. Yeah, basically, I think Ivy's point is supposed to have that perspective. So when you see her talks on that, it's like, well, yeah, but you don't have any right to talk. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Certain characters don't have the right to talk in certain topics, but they sometimes do, based on their own like wantingness to like have value in certain topics. Because then like Ivy feels she doesn't like fit anywhere else besides acting.
What I love in general about these like photo montages or whatever, which by the way Logan like makes fun of in episode 3, and I think that's so funny.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, we gotta do the photo montage. It's not as funny.
No, yeah, that was a smart joke.
What I love about that is that you get to show outside the game scenes. It adds realism. You get to see the characters' backstories. You see their family and friends. And I think that's like really good because you can't do that in Survivor. You obviously don't have footage of like Rob Cesternino.
Well, you can do that actually.
like
Remember
on like a bike or whatever.
Okay, so if you don't watch the new era Survivor, they do that. Yes, if you watch a modern season, yeah, like they show video clips of like someone like singing "Happy Birthday."
Those are like family videos.
Like
you can't show
like stuff like that.
This is the time I was in school and I got bullied.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What's his name? Richard, right? You can't show that stuff, right? Because that's like I guess unless you take pictures of that, right?
Yeah, no, you can.
More often than not, you won't have pictures of those moments.
Unless like documented because the team won. Yeah. So I do love how like even though it's like how did they get a photo of like this? I'm like, don't judge it. Just be happy you're getting this lore. that's how I was.
I wish
was
the previous seasons did this like, actually with the burning barn thing. That'd been great.
Same. No, that's exactly what Tam and I talked about too. It's like, damn, if DC2 or DC1 had this, it'd be so great. But they don't have this, so it's like at least we're gonna let the new generation have like something like the show that we learned from our mistake. Well, I didn't say our mistakes. I didn't make mistakes. I don't work here. But like learn from ONC's past mistakes about like certain like ideas, approaches, storylines. So now they have a better idea.
DC2, now the biggest problem is that you don't like, talk about. There's so many like outside game characters you never see them. It creates this weird thing where it's like Lake, Hunter, Tess, Rosa, all these characters you never see them. Right? All their like family members and friends. That's what I like about DC1. It has the family call, right? So you get to like hear their family members, even if it's very brief, right? It really grounds the world, makes it feel more alive, I guess. Because like,
and then DC3 had the letters and the what's it called, social media things in the end. So they showed a bit the outside world, and episode 1 in general showed like the daily life of the live, even if they hated a bit for certain characters like Rhea.
Speaking of Rhea, there is an interesting comment that I don't remember who it was. I think it was Anastasia. It was about the Girls Alliance. They mentioned the word manhandling, and I was like, that's a really weird thing to talk about a Girls Alliance, the word manhandling. And I say this because there was a line in DC All-Stars episode 9 that I got edited where Rhea was like, Gret, you have to have more balls. And I was like, why how gender? Why are you saying get more balls? It's weird. Why manhandling? Why not woman handling?
Yeah, no, there's certain lines I just couldn't proofread because of, deadlines. Like, I'm going to be honest, episode 1, it was tough because we had I probably can't say this, but it probably was the shortest deadline due to the situation at hand of like trying to pump out a season. So episode 1 falls through the cracks a bit. I won't lie. But it definitely gets picked up a bit. So like,
Next up, Emily's return. I thought that was really like, and I understand she's in the intro, she's in the marketing, like every fan going into it knew it, but I feel like from the perspective of like a newer fan in like, let's say 2026, when they're getting into Disventure Camp, they're binging all the seasons in a row, Emily just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like there's no fanfare, it's just like, oh, she's back.
Yeah.
I don't know, I felt like
I agree.
To a newer fan who's like binging the season, it'll be a bit awkward, right?
No, when we got season 4 starts, we didn't know Trevor were hosting. Well, it was kind of obvious because they never put Karen Crystal, but we didn't know Emily was injured. We just saw a cast. I'm like, wait, what? And then we watched the season, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like, Jared should have gave us the season 3 scripts in the Tom and Jake and the like staff story, but like that's another situation. We didn't know about that because our department's season 4. So we just saw Emily in a cast. We saw like all this like Trevik like mocking her. I'm like, oh, well, I guess we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I knew it going into it. She was in the marketing. It's fine, but I don't know. I feel bad for the newer viewers. It's like, whoa, that feels really random.
Yeah, if you watch Harry's reactions, the voice of Spencer, he had no idea who Emily was. So like Jace was in this chat, and Jace like helped a bit because Jace is very like helpful with the VAs if they have questions. So yeah, Emily is a surprise for many if you never watched the early seasons. Like, who is this character? Unless like the VAs who attend the table reads, then they'll know. But yeah.
We're only 3 episodes in, but I will say I do like the lack of host plot. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's as if like someone cuts the host dialogue.
I brought this up with you. This is not a problem or a knack towards the script, but sometimes the pop culture references kind of, I feel secondhand embarrassment, not because it's bad, but because I know that the not the target demographic, but the audience that watches DC will not get them, right? Let's be honest, a lot of them are like younger than like 15-ish, so when people mention like MTV or Crocodile Dundee or G.I. Jane or Marilyn Manson, or there was another one that like really stuck out to me. There's another one. What was it? It was something that like I was like, oh my gosh, none of the 15-year-olds will know what that is. And that's not bad. Obviously the show wasn't made for them. But I don't know, I just felt bad.
Yeah.
I cringed. I'm like, oh man, people are gonna be like, what's this? I don't know what this is. Something that's not in the maybe again. I understand that like it's older people writing, so I'm sure that they'll.
Oh, the BlackBerry.
It's not a bad thing.
Was that it?
No, not Black. No, I don't even know what that is. What BlackBerry?
Isabel's like rock that she uses a phone. I joked about it. Like that's like Shane and like Survivor Panama.
Okay. Anyway, it's not a bad thing. I don't want to say it's a bad thing. Writers always do that. Like if you watch Gravity Falls, there's a lot of '90s references because that's what the creator grew up with, right? '90s nostalgia. Goodfellas, that's the other one. Goodfellas, which isn't like entirely a nostalgic one, but I'm like none of the kids will get it.
My Goodfellas, no. I
didn't write the joke. Inherently like a millennial sort of nostalgia reference, but still, yeah, no, I don't know. Complicated. I'm not saying replace it like Skibbity Minecraft or Roblox, like modern stuff. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Obviously, we do two types of jokes.
Like, none of the. What? Sorry.
We do like 2 types of jokes, like ones that are obvious, like like the Richard in episode 3 with the hair getting cut, like that one is funny because it's universally funny. Then we do ones that cater to the kid audience, and then we do ones that cater to adults. So like, it very much is like balanced. Like I'm not saying kid jokes or humor, like fart jokes, but like just something that would be a little more universal for like a kid, right? Like one that fits like any glove, a glove that fits any hand. That's what we do universally. But sometimes we just squeeze those like a little adult jokes, and we're like, ha. Yeah, I love giving good head, like stuff like that. Like we just, I didn't say that. That was in the original script. But yeah, it's just very much like left with DC4 because we do understand that the past seasons didn't have a great feedback on humor, so we did try our hand at like trying to like cater to all audiences. But we do know certain jokes are gonna be like, what is that? So like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Like, there's not much like we could do right now.
It's not for them,
but it's for everyone. It's
not for them, so it's fine.
E for everyone is Disventure Camp. No, I'm joking. It's not E for everyone.
It's rated E for everyone. 15 plus. Rated 15 plus. There like I did have a bit of a epiphany where I'm like, what is more interesting? Because like obviously there are a lot more insults being thrown around compared to the previous seasons where I think All Stars had a lot of insults. People call each other by like unique nicknames. What is funnier to you, like a referential nickname or like a pun nickname? Because at one point, I think Ted calls Diego Crocodile Dundee, and I was like, it'd be funnier if it was like Crocodile Dundee. Like you added an insult on top of the reference. I don't know.
I get that, but the thing is also like we don't want to like make the reference like too far away that people are like, oh, what is that? Like it's kind of like a total drama like title where it's like a reference stuff, but no one notices a reference. It just makes it a normal phrase. So sometimes we try to make it more like obvious it's a reference, and that makes sense. But also, I love my nicknames. Yeah. I will, if I could, I would. But sometimes you just gotta just reference it to be simple. Like I keep it simple policy. Like sometimes not every joke has to be fireworks, and that's my thing. Like I don't want every scene to be remembered because then it's like, wow, there's no balance to the script. So I think having certain scenes kind of be sabotaged a bit isn't a bad thing. It's just a way to like highlight certain scenes you want to be highlighted and some you don't want to be highlighted yet, but then you can make them highlighted. It's kind of like a method process we're going through, if you make sense. Like
Yeah.
it's basically a lot of psychology you got to do when you're right, which is funny. But for the elimination show, you have to. You got to hide like things. So I'm just like, how do we trick the audience? Not in a mean way, but like in a way that doesn't make it so predictable. Like, oh my God, Susie said she needs a car. She's gonna go far. Like we can't. Like there's some like things we gotta add. You know what I'm saying? To like make it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. On your comment, by the way, on slapstick comment, I do really like how this season has a lot more what feels to be more traditional slapstick sort of comedy. There've been comments that the comedy. The problem with Disventure Camp is that because it is for like an English and Spanish audience, it can't do too many like wordplay humor. I guess it
Yeah.
can't do too many like reference. Obviously there are some references, and I noticed that like when Jared's writing, there's not a lot, but when like an American like Michael or Jace or whatever writes, then it's there's a bit more pop culture than
Yeah.
you'd expect, I guess.
I will say though,
Um,
big shout out to Freddie because he sees all these humors like, oh shoot, I got this. Like Freddie knows how to translate to the Spanish sub really really well, and like I wrote a line, I was like, damn,
yeah,
this is such a long line. It's like a 40 word, it's a 40 like letter word, and Freddie's like, don't worry, Emer, I got this. I'm like, oh good job. So like it's very good that we have a team that always thinks on their feet on how we can translate this. How can we make it like fittable? Like, and I think that helps a lot to when we're like, okay, we got it done now because this team is very active in trying to ensure that our humor isn't lost. And for the dub, I think it's kind of
yeah,
maintained well. Like, I think the dub for Spanish, I haven't watched most of it, but I heard it's like very good mixed audio, unlike the English dub. But it's okay. Maybe it'll get better in a bit.
but yeah, compared to like other shows, which I would assume are primarily made in English, you have more free will for like pun based
Yes,
humor, wordplay humor, all that stuff, right? Here
exactly.
it's a bit harder. It's more of a struggle, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't have like I don't know. What's a good example? Jade be nicknamed like Fade because it's like that. The pun's not gonna work in Spanish, right?
No, exactly.
That's a weird
But we
example.
can call like Jade Ruby because then that's
Um,
like a like they're both like gems.
I
So then
guess yeah, you can do
like then
that.
you can do
Yeah,
that.
I
So
guess
like
you can do that.
that's why in Castigal her name is Ruby too. Also surprise. I could say that that's kind of obvious, but yeah. It's very much like ways we do figure out how to get through the system because we have a strong team and we have like one that like we all come from like a different backgrounds, so like it helps a lot to where we're like we can just bounce stuff off and our perspectives like help bounce with Reddy, who makes her the Spanish dub. I don't know what the Italian dub and Polish
Yeah.
dub are gonna do, but they're all geniuses in their
Um,
own right. So I bet
yeah.
they're gonna
No,
kill it.
I agree. They said that this season has the hardest conditions, and I'm like, no, you guys have like buildings and like roofs and stuff. You actually like there's space in the like you could. There's a lot of space. I'm like, no, no way. This is not the hardest conditions. Like All Stars and has the hardest conditions. I think.
I think it's because of the days. I think that's why it's the hardest conditions. And also Stawaki's weather is
The days.
different. Yeah. Because remember
But
they're
they
in
have
a
a
different
roof. They
area.
have like a roof above their heads.
Yeah, but like
They
also
got a
you don't
roof.
they got a roof, yes, but like you're gonna I will say though, the starvation, it definitely comes into play. Like, remember, instead of a 21 episode season, this is a 26 episode season. People are more hungry for this win. There's gonna be more moves. I'm like, wait, on a full tummy, I wouldn't have done this. I'm like, yes, on a full tummy, you wouldn't have done this. The point is, they're not. It's obviously not gonna be highlighted. It's not gonna be highlighted. Yeah, it's because I'm starving. Like, that's obviously not gonna be the justification they're writing. But like, you can tell that what this is the toughest season, and the elements don't help it. I think the animation will have to do that though, because I don't think we can just write in like it's snowy today. Like I don't know what Stowaki's weather is like. Well, that's more of a Jared question. So like, yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
I do think
so
All
they
Stars
do
is
the
harder.
challenge.
But
Yeah.
remember, All Stars is 3 times more than money. They only get 1 million if they win the season. So like, still, I think hardest for a one
Yeah,
million
that's
season.
true. That's true. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll
Maybe I'm
see.
overhyping the roof, but like having a roof is so nice, compared to being in a tent. It's wet all the time.
Yeah, but like, there's like there are raccoons in there. It's not that safe. Like it's a rusted down carnival. It's forestation everywhere. So they'd have to clean that all up. It took hours probably. It took them all night to just even make a decent shelter. So like, yeah, it's a lot
Okay.
of
So next up, the challenge starts. I will call this the colorblind struggle challenge, because if you are colorblind, you are struggling.
No, when we got this too, I'll be honest, reading this challenge was hard. Because in a script point of view, it's like, I got purple flag, red flag, yellow flag, blue flag, green flag, 5 flag. I'm like, what? And this might be the AD&D in me, but like, I was like, God, it took me a while to read the first script, do this freaking challenge. Because I didn't understand anything that was going on. Because like, why did I have to go through the whole roller coaster again? Like, so then we just see them count the flag.
For a while, I thought there was going to be a twist that I forgot which one it was. It was Spencer or Benji. One of the two was like actually colorblind. I thought that was gonna like be the reason they lost. Like, no, I'm colorblind.
Well, yeah, yeah, that'd be funny, but like it'd be really bad because I don't want to do something like that because of the whole Oliver situation of DC2, where people were very upset that he had PTSD and like it was just born out of nowhere just to convene his own elimination. So we don't want to do that stuff. Where it's like, oh, look at this. Yeah, actually, they have no smell.
I don't think the PTSD was the problem. I think the tree was the problem.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think it was just. It was just really extra. Yeah, so like we do try to avoid that stuff. I understand exactly what you're saying. Like obviously, there's going to be ways that they hold back characters back for certain scenarios, kind of like Reality Resort, but different. So like we do like build up. There's like a whole skill set built for these characters. Like we have like a chart to know what they're strongest and like weakest at. So it definitely helps a bit, and it shows a bit in episode 3 with the whole fear challenge.
You know, these are just some observations, but the roller coaster, they said it's abandoned, but it's a 2-track roller coaster. I'm like, that's so cool. Like you can get twice as many, twice as many customers.
Yeah.
The line wait isn't as long because it's going twice as fast. I'm like, what the heck? Why is it abandoned?
That,
so cool.
That came out of Trevor's paycheck to renovate that.
Oh, okay. This is always coming out of Trevor's paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Trevor's paycheck.
Yep.
Also, it's steep as fuck. That is like one of the steepest roller coasters I've ever seen. It's a straight line down. That is like I was just at an amusement park like a few days ago. That is like scary.
That is no.
It's like straight down.
I don't like. I'd probably go. Well, I wouldn't. I don't like going on roller coasters that go upside down. That's like my one preference because I'm like, if it gets stuck, I'm done. My life is over.
I really like this challenge because the viewers can play at home because it's a memory challenge. You just like remember the flag colors. They do that in Survivor sometimes. It's like a memory challenge.
Yeah,
square,
exactly.
Triangle, star. You know what I mean?
A big
I was like,
feedback
cool.
was that people wanted more like mental challenges over like puzzles, and because apparently my challenge was well received, so trying to do new challenges like that, kinda ish. So we're like, we can like make cooler challenges. I wasn't involved in that, but I did see the list, so I think it's fun. I was concerned about episode 2. Episode 1, besides the roller coaster and 3, I'm like, oh, these are all kind of in 4 kind of. I was like, a hunting challenge. That's like literally DC1 and DC2 and DC3.
Yeah.
But no, they made a clown makeup, so that was smart. But that's for a future day. But yeah, this is the most. I think the roller coaster so far is the biggest variety challenge of the Carnival theme at this point in the show.
I hope they, and I don't know how this only tangentially fits the theme, but I hope they do like a werewolf challenge where it's like, the 2 people are the werewolves, you have to find out who they are. That'd be so fun.
I would kill for a social deduction challenge. We'll see though.
Yeah, that'd be great. Like an Among Us type challenge. I remember when the space episode, people thought that was like an Among Us challenge. That was interesting.
That would have been cool.
But anyway, yeah, is this the first episode with 2 challenges? I found that so interesting.
Yes.
Had 2 challenges in one episode.
No, we knew it was going to trick everyone in the trailer. Cool. But you were smart, Jpeg. I saw in the GGP chat, I was like, guys, it's not that many episodes. It's just that we wouldn't reveal that much. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We wouldn't reveal that much. But I was mad, though. And I'm going to say this because it's a spoiler. That Spencer was in episode 4 shot with the clown makeup. I was so mad about that. I didn't point it out. I was like, damn, they're all going to know it's obviously Amelie now. But like, obviously it was Amelie, but like, still, like... You know what I'm saying? Like, It's not even an intense vote anymore because we would just say, oh, yeah, Spencer and clown makeup are fine, fellas. I'm like, why?
I think usually the first 2 or 3 boots of a season, in a non-all-star season, you have a bit more leverage because, like, the first few boots are pretty... Like, when I, saw my character Kai, I was like, yeah, I'm like, 2nd or 3rd boot. Right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
But yeah, moving on... There was this, I forgot who it was, I think Linda says, oh, Amelie, and it made me realize how similar Amelie and Emily's names are, and I was like, I thought we were going away from this, the Ali, Ellie, Alec thing, similar names, I thought we were going away from this.
Yeah, no, that happened too. It's kind of meta too, that we joke about this the whole time. But yeah, that's why Amelie's French, because then like it's like, emphasized more. Well, Emily, yeah. Well, I didn't even know Emily was going to be in the season, honestly. We got the character sheet. It was like, oh, cool, 18 characters. Who's hosting it? Is it Crystal? No, it's Trevik. Okay, damn, lost. Then we see Emily. I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Natalia calls Isabel, she's our team's Mother Teresa, and I was like, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, that's not a compliment. You realize that's not a compliment. And maybe it was on purpose. Maybe you guys know that Mother Teresa's not a good person, so maybe Isabel's not a good person. Maybe it's foreshadowing. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. And I really like that Isabel is not the nice girl that you'd expect. She's like a subversion of that. I feel like she has kind of the foundations of like a Tess or a Rosa Maria or a Ashley or a Lil, but she's not, and I find that really interesting.
Yeah. So what's interesting about Isabel is that she's not exactly what you see, but like what you do see is kind of correct. It's correct what you see. Anon, yeah, that's correct. But there's a layer to Isabel that has in episode 1 we kind of like foreshadowed a bit with the confessional in the end. It doesn't mean she's a villain. Maybe she is, and maybe I'm just lying right now. Maybe I'm just lying right now. But I think what separates someone like Fiore and Isabel is that Fiore is just evil incarnate sometimes in DC1.
Yeah.
But is Isabel evil incarnate, or is that the perception we want you to think? That is the question I do believe episode 1 leaves us off on. If that makes sense. I don't think 2 and 3 really expand on it much with Isabel, which is probably purposeful by Jared. Mr. Madrigal always has a plan with this type of stuff. But yeah, like, well, it's such a bit on mine. But yeah, it's a tough confession to explain because like, props to Rio. Like on the ending delivery, it's like it's very like not meant to be evil, but people perceive it as evil because of Isabel being like determined to win. And also, fun fact: this is a Survivor reference. Do you know what's referencing?
Where?
In Survivor Second Chance, this is a Tasha confessional. Her first ever confessional. It's from Tasha. I rewatched Second Chance.
I have no memory of this.
Yeah, rewatch where it's like.
What's the reference?
Remember how she's like, oh, my church, right? Like I came back and the church was like, you got to play harder to win. And then in the end, her final line of Tasha's confessional is, when it's all over, I'll pray for forgiveness. That is the final line.
I have like no memory of this.
You should rewatch it.
I don't know. I watched that season like maybe like 7 years ago.
You should watch on YouTube the clip, like opening clip. I think it's there or something. You can watch it and then you'll see like, wait. But yeah, it threw me off guard.
I do think that Isabel is one of the more popular characters.
Yes.
Especially with the younger crowd. And I think the reason for that is because Isabel's design is very like, you know what she is from the get-go, right? Whereas some of the other designs, you don't like, you have an idea, but you don't like know what they're about because it's like a nun. It's a profession, right? Especially because like a lot of fanfics and fan works nowadays, they try to have more bombastic, like Leonard-esque characters, where it's like, I'm a wizard, oh, I'm a clown, oh, I'm wearing a dinosaur onesie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is weird because like the first like few seasons of Troll Drama didn't really do that, so I find that very weird that that's kind of like a trope for a lot of fanfics and fan works, right?
Yeah.
And I'm happy that Isabel is not just like a nun, right? That she's more than that, right?
Yeah, she still is a nun.
The usual like, I'm a clown, I dress like a clown. Oh,
but yeah, it's always.
So what I did feel for this is that some of the fights felt a little unnatural to me because, reality show 101, obviously these are fictional characters, but reality TV 101 is that you don't like fight early on. Usually it'd be like maybe Amelie says something bad and then Hannah has a confessional. Amelie's really bossy. Now that you mentioned that she's, because I don't know their ages, now that you mentioned that Hannah's younger, it makes more sense in my head, right? I think, because I didn't know her age. Now that I know that she's like one of the younger characters, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like, Hannah's the second youngest. Right? So yeah, no, like, and Amelie's like 36, Hannah's like 19. It's like a double like age gap. So like, yeah, it's meant to be like a double age gap, so it's like different perspectives. But Hannah has witnessed people like Amelie in her bar, who are like in a position to being like they feel like they lost themselves a bit while doing work. So yeah.
I always thought, because I know people say that some of the DC All-Stars arguments, specifically Jake and Allie, felt like unnatural, right? But like, that's like a 27-year-old fighting with a 20-year-old over like egos and shit. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, especially because they're the same character basically, right?
Yeah.
And the prize pool is bigger, and they're the more impulsive characters. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Here, I was I don't know, are people gonna fight like day one? They got like full bellies. They just met each other. You're gonna like fight immediately.
Yeah, the thing is though, remember, not all these are like super strategic people. They're not like, oh my god, I'm about to mold a perfect game. Like that's not everyone. Like they're gonna talk with their heart on what their thoughts are. And I think that was very important to show. It doesn't mean they're going to go home early because of it. It just means it's a part of their character, if that makes sense.
Like, I don't know. There's a fine line where it's like, how much do you want this to be like an authentic reality show versus how much should this be like a cartoon? Because obviously, especially some of the younger people, they want the dramas to be more
silly
and like deliberate, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Michael mentioned that like he has problems with writing subtlety because it's like he wants it to be subtle, but it's like, will the audience get that? Right.
No,
sometimes
exactly.
you have to, that's why there's so many like character threads, right? Because sometimes people miss certain aspects of the characters, right?
It definitely is something we do also proofread about. We have a lot of talks on this. It's like, do we want to show this card yet? And then Jared's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, wait, what? Like, it happens sometimes. I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be an end game goal. Why is it in episode 2? Like it's. I'm not saying it's in episode 2, but it's just an example. But yeah. So we do like try to like, hide characters who like might be going far, maybe hide that winner a bit, hide certain people who we think can't be shown yet, but maybe the winner is in broad daylight. I think that's the thing about Disventure Camp that is the paranoia all involved, is you don't know who's gonna be the winner. Like it could be the most talkative, or it could be the least talkative, or it could be in the middle. And I think each winner of Disventure Camp is different. And the same with far and place your pick characters. Like look at Jake and Allie. Like you would never have thought Allie would go that far based if you watched DC2. But then we watch All Stars, you're like, wait, the writers are onto something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really much about the perception people have, and you need to alter it when writing. But you also got to remember, you got to challenge, like, if you alter this, you got to make up for it in future episodes. Are you ready to do the catch up every time? And I think that's what proofreaders are always down to do, is put in more work if it means a better product in the end of the day that gets more engaging and more fun to watch the audience reaction.
So here's one of my last note for the episode. This doesn't even have to do with the episode. I really like the episode titles now. My big beef with some of the episode titles with All Stars is that, like, sometimes the episodes would be very serious, and the name would be like a pun or a reference like that has nothing to do with the episode.
Okay.
And I understand that's because the episode titler had like no context of the episode other than the challenge. But like, in some shows that I'm sure Disventure Camp is trying to emulate, a title can be very powerful, indicator on what the episode's about, right?
Yeah.
You just name an episode Lost.
Yeah,
God,
so
about? Like,
yeah.
Broken.
So I agree.
But then they're like, slip and slide.
Yeah. But the thing
Here,
is
actually,
also,
I like the episode titles this season.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good this
so
season.
Big shout out to
Come
Reese. Reese is a proofreader, but also does the episode titles for us. They did it for season 3 too, but the problem is Jared only gave the challenges. Jared just wanted it based on the challenges. So it was like, there's not much Reese could have done, because Reese was also a fan at the time. Like, Reese didn't know it was going to go on the whole season. So it was very much like, now that Reese works here as a very active proofreader, the titles are very much reflecting on what the episode is meaning. Like, you will get better titles due to it. And I think it just shows that being more transparent has helped see better results. And I think that's going to be a common thing with DC4, is the transparency given to us. The more we get into the season, you can see then we're like, okay, we know what's going on now. Because like it's hard to like crack Jared. So now that Jared's being more open,
I appreciate that the
letting us like
titles are going away from puns.
Yeah,
because I thought like the pun stuff and the pop culture stuff. Well, to be fair, there's only a few episodes like that. We're a little too close to Toll Drama. I'm like, this isn't Toll Drama.
There's gonna be some I think there'll be some pun names, but like that's because certain episodes have the ton of a pun. So like it's gonna be like there, but it's also just because we just want to have a fun time. Like the episode titles aren't that serious, but I see what you mean though. Like certain episodes have to hit hard, otherwise it's gonna fail.
No, because that's like what I learned in my creative writing major is that like what you name, that's like the first impression. It has to like leave a mark and maybe be like connective tissue or overarching, like spread the overarching themes of the episode, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually do like the episode titles now. DC4 is good. So next up, we have episode 2. There is a Survivor-esque decision, which I think is really interesting. What I don't like is that there are 3 options. I'm like, no, in Survivor you only have 2 options. You go,
that's
risk
a lie.
or reward. There's no neutral. So
that's a lie.
Get out of here. I don't like
that was in one of the seasons. Remember where they had to like do that too? It was like 2 people, I forget. I think it was HBHH, but it's a horrible season to me, so I don't remember. Wait, no, it's Worlds Apart. It's Worlds Apart.
It's Worlds Apart. Yeah. They had the neutral. Like, no, they lied about the neutral box.
Yeah, exactly. So we made the neutral box because of the lie. Yeah.
Why is there a neutral box? What the frick?
No one. It's so funny. We saw this Camp Life box. It's like, oh, no one's ever gonna pick this Camp Life box at all. It's so boring.
I don't know. It's like you either go for broke or you don't at all. It's like,
but yeah, basically, Isabel went for the full idol. Jade went for the clue, and it goes into their personalities of why they went for it. But each confessional, which was very important, the show. This is how
I would have tweaked it a little bit. Is to have 2 people per team, so it's like, oh, if you lie, the other person, like, because no one knows that Isabel lied, right?
Yeah.
No one knows about that because she went alone.
Yeah.
I guess other than Jade, but like, they're in different camps, right? So,
yeah, like what's Jade gonna do? Like, say, guys, vote for Isabel. Like, Jade wanna make a public scene in front of everyone.
Like, yeah, what I would do is that Isabel goes to someone else, and there's a bit of conflict that happens, right?
Yeah,
Isabel in the second person.
I think what's always fun about being alone, though, is because it adds that like new dynamic where someone's like, "Yeah, I don't believe you. I believe you're lying." Like that's what Amelie did, and that's what like Ted does a bit ish. Yeah, like more Amelie though, more Amelie. Like I pointed out, I was like, guys, wait, if it's a fire challenge, shouldn't the flint be used? So then Reese like adds a rewrite to like fix it, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is good now. Because Diego discovers that's intact, but Diego doesn't question it, but Amelie does because that's the personalities in play. And if Diego's more aware of what things should be like, because he doesn't really care about the overthinking part of the game, it's just like whatever to him. But like Amelie's like, no, this is my life or death scenario. We need to stop her.
Also, is this the first time they call it the hidden immunity idol? Like, I feel like it's always been like immunity totem or just idol or immunity idol. Never like hidden.
Okay, I'll be honest.
Using the full legal name.
So I'll be honest about this. We call it the totem and the idol in the scripts. So certain scripts you'll just see the idol, then you'll see the totem. So like, it's not continuity.
Back and forth.
Yeah, it depends on how you feel like it. Like you can call it the thingamajob, you can call it the idol, you can call it the totem, you can call it the power statue. Like I don't care what you call it. Just don't call it the McClane invincibility statue, or else I'll yell at you. But otherwise, yeah.
There's a funny scene where Diego is doing yoga, and it reminded me of the scenes in like Heroes versus Villains when Coach does the yoga.
That's exactly what I thought. That is exactly it. Yeah, everyone does group yoga, but they don't really care. But like Coach and Diego do. Spencer's like the coordinator of the scene.
Later on, I don't remember how to. Zaid, is that how you pronounce the name?
Zaid, yeah, that is correct.
Like I mentioned, I think his name got mentioned like maybe twice.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's kind of edited.
It was like, you're an actor. Sorry, your parents put you in acting school. Isn't that risky? And the first thing that came to my head is that like, and maybe this is a Filipino thing, because if in the Philippines, if you are like the son or daughter of a celebrity, you're gonna be in the acting business no matter what. Even if you don't want to be in it, you're gonna be in it. You're gonna be an actor no matter what. Something like that ain't risky at all. She's guaranteed to be celebrity.
Yeah, but the thing is, about Zaid. Remember, Zaid is Moroccan, but like he was born in the U.S. So like, remember, like he's not really in touch with his roots. It's up for ambiguity. I don't know. But it's like, remember, Ivy's parents, I don't know if they really like care much, like helping her, because maybe they have a nanny. I don't know. But yeah, it definitely comes into 2 different types of lives into play. Like Ivy had it all, and Zaid had it not much because he had to fend for himself, kind of. Because like when you're in an American home with like being a first generation, you do gotta like play catch up. Like that is the whole point of it.
Yeah.
But Ivy didn't have to play catch up, if that makes sense. Like she could pursue acting, but then she wouldn't go broke because her parents could help her while she's doing it. Well, Zaid has to help himself while pursuing culinary school. And same like with Jade, like even though her parents are like, I think biologists, they're not that expensive, they're not that rich. So like Jade's like pursuing school, but she needs the money. Same with Zaid. Same with other characters too, which may or may not be revealed. We'll see. But yeah, Ivy kind of has that financial net, but she still wants to be independent. It's kind of like where it's like, yeah, sure, they're celebrities, but I do want to make it on my own. I don't want to depend on them anymore because she's trying to escape that dependability. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. Ivy, I don't know. I know this family where all the kids, like, because the parents are like celebrities, all the kids and cousins are all popular as well, and they hate it, and none of them want to be actors, but they're kind of forced to be actors, and I find that an interesting parallel, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like a family that like I'm like friends with some, and like they're like, I don't want to be an actor. Fuck, I want to be an actor.
But also, this might be a smooth transition though. This was mentioned in one or two of her. I don't know which one for Marissa, but like her family is all in the military. So she's like, oh, I'm next in the military line. Let's go. Like she's been like, it's kind of like, when your dad's like a baseball coach. I didn't have that. But like a baseball coach dad, but like it's like, oh, I'm gonna be like the coach assistant when I get older. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like that. That's like Marissa too now with the family line. While Ivy doesn't want to do it on her own, Marissa wants to do it with her family. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very much there is a code. Like there is family themes. There's like independence themes. There's themes of friendships, isolation. I think that's what helps bring the characters all together in some way, one or another, due to it. But yeah, Ivy's family is definitely important to us. Same with any other's family. Like it really just depends. Like depending on the episode, which one you'll see more of.
While they were aspects of the previous seasons, like here it's a lot stronger because of the pictures we get to see, and there's a lot more bonding moments over the usual strategy talk, right? I think that's very interesting. So Jade does a very interesting move that I'm really proud of because like no other character in DC does this. She kept the idol secret. No one else does that in Disventure Camp, and I love that. I'm so happy that she actually kept it a secret.
Well, about that. So she tells Spencer. She tells Spencer about the idol clue in episode 3.
She kept it for one episode. That's more than most people.
No, exactly. Like most just tell her right away. But like Jade's like, yeah, no, I can do it on my own. But then she's like, but like look where the idol's at. Like she has to go at an island in front of the camp. Like that's just genuinely gonna get you incriminated. Just like going there.
That being said, I feel like that's such an obvious spot. Like I feel like if you're playing the game, you see a skull-shaped rock, you're like, oh, that's gotta.
That's where I would go first too, honestly. And that's another thing too about the clue. Like the clue is just general. Like this is probably like, it's kind of funny. What if Isabel picked that clue? Did she have to go to the red team camp to go there? So like, yeah.
Oh man.
So like, we don't know. Maybe there's
I'm sure there's a skull-shaped rock on her side. Of
yeah, too.
But yeah. So Emily and Hannah have another confrontation, and I noticed this. I'm like, why am I taking Emily's side? Am I like just old? Is that why? Because like I'm older. I can see Emily's perspective better.
No, same. I was like watching like when it was in the script, I was like, okay, Hannah's like hitting it, and then I'm watching the animation, I'm like, damn, Emily's like way better.
I feel like you have to include it in the dialogue that Hannah is young, because I feel like if you didn't know it, you would assume it's like another Jake, but it's like, okay, she's like 19 or 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. They act like that.
19-year-old Filipino. You have the judgment. You have the floor. Is that accurate? Is that inaccurate?
It's kinda, yeah. Kinda. She's outspoken,
And she lives in Canada too.
Kind of people.
She's a Canadian. Wait, oh my god, an outspoken Canadian. That's so funny. But that's awesome.
She's like, hey, why are you stalking Jade? Stop stalking Jade. Stop picking on her. I was like, no, but it's like strategy. It's like, you gotta
exactly.
know. You gotta get
but remember, Hannah's a recruit. So like, she's like, why are we strategizing? We just vote one person. We're out of the game, right? Like, she has
and I love that in the very next minute or so, they mention that Hannah is a recruit. I love that because I feel like a lot of people are like, why did you audition for the show if you don't know anything? And I'm like, I feel like in Fans vs. Favorite seasons of Survivor, like half the fans are actually recruits. Like they don't know the show. They have no fucking idea.
Exactly.
Like I'm sure like James is a recruit. I don't think he actually auditioned, right? He knows nothing about DC, right?
No,
I think Aiden had to tell him about Tom and Jake, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, Aiden had to tell him about Tom and Jake. Right?
Yeah, no, James is a recruiter. He's like,
I'm sure Google was also a recruit.
Yeah, James probably just studied the show for a bit. That's why, like, he's still not great at strategy. So like, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when Hannah's like,
I love that,
and she's like I'm gonna say like, biatch, I'm a bartender. It's time for you to sit down and listen. I was like, damn, she's out of her depth a lot. Like she's like acting like, she's like, but it's also really funny though with the animation. Like it shows the immaturity a bit, but also shows that Hannah has good intentions and how like people she met, like Amelie, watches as their life's already gone and like it just means nothing anymore. So I think that's why Hannah's like that. but it still leads to like it's Amelie's choice if she wants to listen or not to someone like Hannah. It leaves it like it's an open floor. Like it leaves it to where either Amelie takes Hannah's advice genuinely, which she does, or maybe she doesn't, and she's like, this girl, she's the youngest person here, is trying to lecture me. Like, Red Team is the youngest people. Let that be known. And I think that helps explain the dynamic a bit sometimes.
As I mentioned, that is a criticism I have for not just Disventure Camp, but also like partially Reality Resort. Like most people will not have the list of ages and sexualities and all that stuff on hand, right?
Yeah.
You do have to mention it in the dialogue or whatever to like make it clear.
Yeah.
Because like to a casual viewer, they won't know Hannah's age, right? I feel like it's not mentioned.
It's mentioned like 2 times, I think. In addition, it's mentioned, but I think is it mentioned in the tape? I gotta check that then. But
I feel like the additions like that's like supplementary material.
It's so like no, I agree. Like it's like
the interviews as well. It's like I'm not saying you have to like spell it out, but like at least include it beyond the. Same with in episode 3. I think Isabel calls Ted Gordon, but like again, if you don't know, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, right? Because that's his last name, and it's not really.
It's the same with like right? Episode 4 with Diego calling Jade Tonko. Sorry for the spoiler. That's a really.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the podcast, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It really means a lot, and your help will be greatly appreciated. Now, back to the Disventure Dispatch, Season 2. As I mentioned, that is a criticism I have for not just Disventure Camp, but also like partially Reality Resort. Like most people will not have the list of ages and sexualities and all that stuff on hand, right?
Yeah.
You do have to mention it in the dialogue or whatever to like make it clear.
Yeah.
Because like to a casual viewer, they won't know Hannah's age, right? I feel like it's not mentioned.
It's mentioned like 2 times, I think. In addition, it's mentioned, but I think is it mentioned in the tape? I gotta check that then. But
I feel like the additions like that's like supplementary material.
It's so like no, I agree. Like it's like
the interviews as well. It's like I'm not saying you have to like spell it out, but like at least include it beyond the. Same with in episode 3. I think Isabel calls Ted Gordon, but like again, if you don't know, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, right? Because that's his last name, and it's not really.
It's the same with like episode 4 with Diego calling Jade Tonko. Sorry for the spoiler. That's a really like some last names are gonna be called out because it's kind of the show, like the respect kind of like. Well, sometimes it's not gonna be like Mr. Miller. Like no, we're not doing that all the time. But you will see there's like characters who show respect to those, but then some are just like they're my casual best friend. So like it really depends.
I don't really know how to. To be fair, I don't really know how you would fix it because like when they say the last names, that is the introduction of the last names. But also, I don't know. I feel like it comes out of nowhere sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's not much you can do.
You don't want it to be like inorganic. Like, hello, my name is Ted Gordon. What's up? Like, you don't want to make.
Hello, my name's Ted Gordon. I play poker. I know to read all your faces. What's up? Like, no, we can't.
Yeah, it's an interesting dilemma, right?
That's why you use the confessionals. So it's more vulnerable.
I guess the confessionals.
And like they can talk more about their occupation. So like people want to hide being like a lawyer or like being a businessman. Like they don't want to show that out loud. So like they just say in the confessional because it's more like a vulnerable place to be in because like no other players are going to steal information unless the producer like passes to another contestant. But that's like besides the point.
So this one's kind of a funny observation. They're, at one point, they're debating over like, oh, it's a rat. No, it's a raccoon. It's just a raccoon. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's just that's like bigger than a rat. It's like it's the same thing where it's like dirty, it's gross, but it's bigger. It's like what the hell? Like I would freak out more if I saw a raccoon.
Yeah.
I found that interesting.
I think also because remember,
Sonic, they're small. It's whatever.
It's tough because remember ways of life it's different in certain areas and we do try to connect that but sometimes like a lot of us live in North America, well all of us do, but like so like we're in North America, like all right, like we do research, like we do that, like try to like just put something down if we don't think it's right, but at the same time it's like you don't know, like there's always gonna be that like one person who's like, you know what, actually rats in here is like a centimeter. I'm like, okay, cool.
I love the 1v1. I love the 1v1v1 challenges in All Stars, the sandbag challenge and the slip and slide challenge. So I love this challenge because like you get to see like weird dynamics, weird duos fighting. Right? It's great. I love that so much. I want this to be in the TV tropes page under Survivor reference, not Total Drama reference. No, this is a Survivor reference. Specifically, the one in Heroes vs. Villains, I think, where they push each other into the mud. Right? Amelie makes a comment saying like beat her to a pulp, and then everyone like looks at her weird, and I was like, that is such a weak like comment for everyone to freak out over. It's like, if it was like, oh, get her blood and behead her and put her corpse on your windowsill, then yeah, that's too much. But like, just beat her to a pulp. It's like that's weak. Maybe that's how like sensitive this cast is compared to the other casts, I guess. I don't know. I found that interesting.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, there's like certain people like who just don't have the physical strength to like stand the shot. Like Tristan, Isabel, certain characters are not like physical threats, but like they make up for it in other ways. Like, while other people who are physical threats, like Diego, who else is really strong? Spencer, I guess, if you consider him beating Alessio as a feat, even though like they're like not that strong together, like already. Jade uses the mud, which is a whole thing we had a conversation about. I was like, yo, if she hits her with the stick, we're fine. It's part of the rules. So Anastasia doesn't hit Benji with the stick, which causes disqualification. We knew that was going to have people hung up. Like, that was going to be a fight that we knew people were going to be like, what? I think that is kind of the point, to show that Trevor follows the rules more, even if, like, But it's, like, kind of added characteristic to the host a bit, even if it's, like, It's like it's a small thing. Also, because we needed a tiebreak, and there's no way we could have like got Benji to win a fight ever.
I have mixed feelings on how nice this cast. Like, they're nice without being overly emotional, like the DC2 cast. The DC1 cast, they're sneaky, mischievous, logical. The DC2 cast is like, they're overly emotional, they feel too much. And this cast is like nice without being overly emotional. And I don't know. I like it when people are like messy and toxic and stuff. So this cast is too nice. At least early on. Maybe it'll change. you know that like if some of these comments would happen to like, let's say like Dan or who else, like Jake, then the DC1 cast would be like, who gives a shit?
yeah, basically. Like, it definitely comes from the people now, like especially because they're new slates. But like now like we are trying new things. Like I think I heard Tristan and Richard's stuff is controversial. I'm like, no, how could it be? It's such a strong scene. It's something we don't get in media enough. And I really do.
Which scene is controversial? What?
The Richard and Tristan battle where Tristan hesitates. Because everyone's like strong-headed and like level strong, but like
Tristan, why was that controversial?
I don't know. Wow. It's one of the best scenes of the episode, honestly. Like it genuinely was so
what the fuck?
Like I was like, damn, this is so powerful because like Tristan isn't just like a brute force person like everyone else.
Viral?
It did go viral too. Yes, it did because people have good taste. But there's the fandom though. Part of people already in the fandom though. They're like, oh wow, the scene is it should get cut out, get deleted. Like why is it here? And I'm like, wait, do you want everyone just to be like a robot, like ready to be here? Like certain people are scared because it's an environment where you can like get beat up in. Like it's like, and also you're starving. Like there's just so many emotions at play that I think it's like it has to be like what's the word? Like it has to be like that because like then we watch like Tristan like punch Zayd in episode 3, spoiler, but like that's like kind of the payoff a bit, like a small little like we're seeing it grow
Tristan
a bit more.
Punches Aiden? What?
Zayd.
Oh, Zayd.
My bad.
You said Aiden. I was like, where's Aiden coming?
No, honestly, Aiden too. Oh, no, I'm joking. No, Zayd. Yeah, but, like it doesn't mean it's the end of the plot. It's just showing like, yeah, see, Tristan's confidence is a bit up now. That's a spoiler episode 3. I'm sorry if you haven't. We're not supposed to talk about it, but like it's kind of like a transferable thing. Like it's suddenly growing and growing.
There was a really dumb moment, and this makes me think Isabel's not as smart as she thinks. Where one of the characters, I forget which one character is like
Hannah.
Hannah says, "What the hell is that?" And Isabel's like, "What?" What is this?
I'll be honest, I did not remember that in the script. I thought it wasn't that bad, but yeah, damn.
So what the fuck is? Okay, yeah.
It's really funny.
It says vomit on her to Logan. That was a good callback.
Yeah, that was like the funniest callback.
It's a one episode callback, but it's fine.
There's a lot of callbacks this season. Like you know how like Fiore references like Greg voting her out in episode 1, like in like DC1 like, later when she votes her out. There's stuff like that I'd say for DC4 where it's like every episode is important because they're gonna call back to it, even if it feels like a filler at the moment. It'll eventually be not much as a filler. It'll be like a subway episode. I don't know, like something where it's like. We hid it underground secrets, but like we're bringing it back now. And I think that'll happen for the first 4 episodes, for sure. Why no for sure? Because I write on the show.
I hope so. I hope so. One comment of criticism I have is that there's a lot of talking in this challenge, which is weird because this is a very like high speed sort of challenge. Like I watched the DC1 and DC All-Stars iterations of the where it's like the 1v1 battles with the stick, and I'm like, there was not a lot of talking. Either that or they were like one-liners, like easy money.
Yeah. So
here there's so much talking.
So this is the difference of Jared and Michael's writing, and I think this is the only thing like Michael I feel like specializes really well on is challenge dialogue. In every challenge, like I struggle to write dialogue, but Michael already does it for us. Like it's so good. It's like nice. I'm like, okay, we just got to edit a bit on this, and it's good. So like you'll see more challenges are more talkative because Michael's writing and not Jared, who's more like just gets a challenge and over with. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, like I like Michael's challenge dialogue, but I don't know, like a high speed sort of challenge. You know, you gotta be like quick. Like some of these characters have really, they're like the Anastasia versus who was it?
Benji.
It was one of the glasses boys.
Benji.
I was like, there's so much talking. It's like you gotta keep it short, you know.
Yeah, no, it is like, oof, like it's like we wish we could have like what's it called? Like maybe like lowered it down a bit, but at the same time, I was like, this was such a hype challenge. Like I was so excited. I was like, I ain't cutting any of this. This is fun. This is like camp. I don't know what camp means, but that's camp, I guess. I was just like, it's just so like when you're a Survivor fan, and then you see like all this dialogue, like people on the bleachers talking, like the whole like Anastasia rooting for Linda, like it was just so much fun, just writing all that, like how.
Side note, Diego, really quickly, he reminds me of like he feels like trying to improve the James archetype. I think because like you know the criticism for James is that like he doesn't get a lot of lines in the middle, right? He feels more like an accessory to Aiden, right?
Yeah,
but I feel like Diego is like maybe it's just the body type, maybe it's the voice. It feels like an improvement, and I like that.
Yeah, massive shout out to Kalani. I feel like we've always wanted to get this like young voice that like is ready to explore around the world, and I feel like each line shows like that desire really well. And I was like, yes. Like, I was, like, excited.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, a main Diego writer. I won't claim that. But, like, I do enjoy Diego's character from, like, a far view. Because I can't really write him much. So, when I do see it go down, I'm like, yo, this is so cool. This is awesome. And then, should we probably talk about it now? Because we're talking about Diego, is the winning speech. He has the confessional. I think it really does show a lot of Diego's perspective on life more. Like, it does that for every character, but, like, I think Diego especially, because he does talk about, like, his wants, his desires a lot. And it's not just about the money, but also just about what he wants to get growing up out of this. And I don't think we really get that much out of this competition genre. And also, there's a tweet Kalani made where he talks about the, like, switch up in tone, where it's like, he's so happy, I can't believe I went for the team. When I was young, I lost my family. Like, there's a Twitter clip. I was like, I can never unsee it now because it's that sudden. I can send it to this, I can DM it to you, but it's just that funny now that I can never unsee it now. I'm like, oh, it really is that bad.
Yeah.
But it's not bad writing though.
Kalani's a very talented person.
Yeah, shout out.
When he put on the voice, we were in a call like yesterday playing a game, and he did the voice, and I was like, what the hell?
No,
crazy.
He did it again to us. Like, even Jace did it yesterday. I was like, wait, guys, stop voice acting. I can't. Like, the voices are so jarring. Especially when you know them like as a friend. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I don't think of Diego when I talk to Kalani. Then I think of Diego when he does the Diego voice. So I'm like, oh.
I'm gonna be very subtle about this, Imer. I don't like that the character's name is Diego, and I'm not gonna elaborate why. Anyway, there's a lot of overhearing of alliances. And I don't know how I feel, because I feel like it's kind of like convenient, you know, Ted just overhears the alliance. What I liked in All-Stars was when Aiden was taking a piss and he heard the Alec and Rhea thing, right? That felt organic, at least.
No, not the piss.
This one I'm like, there's someone like overhearing. There's so much like overhearing, you know.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the piss, but I do like the idea of Aiden like finding like Rhea and Alec accidentally. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like the piss. Gave Aiden something to do. It was great. Yeah, you gotta make, like, whenever people overhear, like, an alliance or secret, you have to make it organic.
No, but, like...
You know, like, in Total Drama, for example, World Tour,
they cut this out,
Alejandro, where in Total Drama, Alejandro, I think, like, he purposefully, like, stalked people, I guess, to, like, overhear their conversations, right? Something like that.
This is the start of Talk About It because I talk about it. But, yeah, I think Michael does the same, like, kind of pattern of, like, how they overhear, so we tried to, like, change it. Like, I'm like, no, we can't have it be a piss every time. So, like, it got bad to where we just had to delete that scenes because of it. So it's just
people take a piss? Jesus Christ. Alessio, this is, like, the funniest thing ever. And I feel like you guys did this on purpose to deconstruct the usual, like, oh, I'm a good person now, I learned. Fucking Logan puts a mustache, and then Alessio has, like, an epiphany to like, be a better person. I thought that was so funny. I was like, are you guys, like, parodying the usual, like, oh my god, I'm a better person now?
Yes.
The usual arcs.
I'm pretty sure it's a yes, yeah. It's kind of making fun of it a bit, but, like, also, like, it's kind of genuine. Because, like, Alessio, like, sometimes a click is just that simple. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, an idea, like, clicks in your head. Like, that's how proofreading works. Like, maybe you think, oh, wow, this would be a funny thing to reference. Like, that's what Alessio just went through. Like, he's like, I finally know what to reference in my art. Myself. Like, and I just think, it's just that simple. Like,
I love that kind of goofy shit.
And if Alessio ever comes back, it'll be a different plot. Maybe he'll think about his mom. I don't know. I can't, like...
I don't think Alessio's ever coming back.
We'll see, though.
Guy's one and done.
We'll see, though. Disventure Camp is always weird, but...
The boot was a little abrupt. It did remind me of the reboot where, like, you only find out about the boot in the last, like, 3 minutes. But on the same token, who gives a shit? The first boot is always going to be, like, kind of...
No, and also the boot's kind of intense, though.
Character.
Like, we see the first vote being Ted and Marissa, then, like, we pull out that blind side. Actually, it's Alessio. Like, you get that's just so funny to me, though.
I don't think so.
But it still is obvious.
You guys aren't gonna boot the lesbian immediately. Like, you
No.
guys are gonna get so much shit.
No, yeah. Also, congrats. Marissa is a public lesbian. Let's go. But yeah, no, we weren't gonna boot the lesbian first. Like, yo, have some faith in us. Like, maybe we'll do it the second boot. But like, yeah, like, what's the word?
My big pet peeve for especially season 2 of the reboot of Total Drama is that, like, the boot, you only find out about them in the last, like, 3-4 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
It's like they're just doing nothing, and then it's all of a sudden, oh, I tripped. And it's like, oh, you tripped.
Right.
What about? Like,
I'm going to send you the line count. The problem was Alessio in episode 1 only said 3 lines. So we're like, okay. But, like, then I was like, oh, he's going home right now. So, like, so we just, like...
I don't really care about the
But I didn't mind it.
Like, the first few boots are always going to be, like, fillery sort of characters.
Yeah. Like, it generally isn't that bad. Like, nah. But, and I honestly love it. Like, I feel like if you take Alessio's elimination that seriously, you're just not going to have a good time. Like, what is, like, 17 lines to find?
Why did Marissa get votes, though? Why did Marissa get votes? I don't know why.
The boys just thrown a vote on anyone. The Boys Alliance.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, I have problems with that when it happened, like James in DC2, where he got so many votes and it's never said why. I get he's a threat, but it's never like, oh, we gotta vote James. Right? He was always the decoy vote, I guess, and you know it's not gonna be him because he does nothing in the episode.
There's a lot of decoy votes, but like, I think they're kind of like the necessary evil. Sometimes, like, we just throw it out of there, like, to shock you. Like, also, we can't just be like, oh my god.
You have to have like a
pre-established reason.
Like a secondary reasoning.
Yeah, no, there is.
Maybe Ted is like, oh, Marissa's the biggest threat. We gotta get her out. It's
like, and that's only just for Alessio's, though. I feel like it's not, like, pre-established. And the others, you could kind of stretch it that way, but, like, it's like, no, it's established. It's just for Alessio's we couldn't because we had to finish this plot. Like, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is this plot finished though? Yeah, up to interpretation. But for now.
All right. Gee, I mean, it would be funny if Alessio came back. I don't think so. I don't want to speculate too much in this first episode of the podcast.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's gonna be.
It would be funny though. I would laugh so much if it came.
Like I said, every character has puzzles that are hidden, and once you find the puzzle, maybe it'll become more clear. But for now, Alessio looks like an obvious loser.
I didn't realize how young Logan is. I'm gonna be honest.
Like I said, there's a lot of young people in the season. It's just hidden by the obvious, like, abundance of older people.
Fucking most of this cast is younger than me. It's like, what the hell? It's weird.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, Alessio leaves on a very positive note, and like it is weird to have a character leave so positively. Like DC1, DC All Stars, it's almost always like negative. Even DC2, where it's like the arcs wrap up in the finale or motel and stuff. But here, at least from, you know, first reaction, it looks like Alessio got wrapped up. He might not be wrapped up, but it looks like he is.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Usually that doesn't happen.
I think the thing with Alessio is even if he doesn't wrap up.
No, I like it dragging. I like it lasting the whole season.
No, but okay, yes,
Okay, maybe for a first boot, fine.
Like, I'm fine with the perception of that he's wrapped up, because then if we bring it back, then people are like, whoa, I'm so glad I thought he was gone, because I would have been so mad if I didn't realize about this potential. Like, that's going to happen for a lot of characters. People think they're wrapped up, but are they? Because, You don't know. What's the word? But
Yeah.
I do like it because I'm like, all right, everyone's satisfied with Alessio now. We did our job. I can take a rest. One less character to worry about.
I would be nervous. I'd be like, oh no, they're changing the formats, and the characters get wrapped up, like like a Netflix show or whatever, because they're more short
No,
term. But
no.
I know Ted isn't wrapped up, so that's good. So at
Yeah,
least it's just the first two boots for the
yeah,
most part.
but
At
yeah,
least the first two boots
yeah,
look wrapped up, even if they aren't.
yeah, exactly. Well, so we gotta put like a spoiler one for
All
episode
right.
4 too for this after. It's okay though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, last episode, episode 3. I don't have a lot of comments. Let's breeze through this. We've been going on for a
This
week.
is my first episode. There's a rewrite in it. Let's go.
Okay, interesting cultural situation where both Ted and Linda, they want their children to like not, they're like, hey, don't go out with your girlfriend, live with a family. It's weird because that's the case in Asia, like smothering, I guess. But like I thought in the West, like the parents like once you turn 18, get the fuck out of the house. I don't want you
No,
anymore. Get out.
no, because
So
like,
I think it's interesting that you have two white parents who want their kids to stay, right? Very
yeah,
interesting.
it is interesting for sure, and they're all both like originating in like America. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, it's like damn, a Minnesotan mom and like Ted, who's from where I don't know. But it's okay. It's not that important. It's just Ted. Um,
Yeah.
he's from America.
Uh,
Okay.
there's a
Yeah.
scene where Isabel steals Richard's hat, and I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
No. Okay. So this is the cutest
So
thing.
funny.
So a friend of our storyboarders drew this. This is not in the scene direction, but they added it, and I think this is what I say with storyboarders having more fun and creativity is trying to add more fun animation. Whether it like even like reality resorts doing that, like there's like a scene in episode 3 where Tina's just running in the background back and forth. Like stuff like that, DC4's artists add because they just have so much fun this season. They just want to add more. Like that's why like the clown makeup's like really funny, stuff like that. Like they just like add a fortune teller for Alessio's like background. It just is like everyone in production's having a fun time with this theme, and like they just want to have it more goofy and fun. So like there's little stuff like that throughout the whole
Yeah,
season.
yeah. No, I like the little like Easter egg, like Kai's shirt. Like that wasn't in the script either.
Yeah, no,
When Yule pulls out a Kai's shirt, I love that little Easter egg for the fans.
yeah.
Anyway, Jade swims to the rock or whatever. And I was like, why are you jumping with all your clothes? You're gonna get fucking like wet. You're gonna get pneumonia.
Okay,
Like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this?
so yeah,
Bad idea.
I wrote that scene. I didn't realize it's gonna be clothes. Like I was like, maybe it's the swimsuit, maybe it's not. It doesn't matter really because I understand with the clothes because she's trying to act like she didn't do much besides just like swim a bit. Like because like she doesn't look like she's like prepared to swim out for the ocean if she was doing something. She has like less time to like go look for Dido. But Ivy and Emily catch her up, and that's like boom. Even she did it quickly. She still got caught. And remember how you said quirky writing is something you need DC3? I'm a quirky writer too.
Yeah.
So Ivy was not in the scene, but I added her in, and I changed the whole Jade and Amelie dialogue, where Ivy's like, "I got you have contacts, so do I." That was not in the script. She never had contacts. I gave her contacts, and out every time.
Oh my god. I hate you, Imer. I hate how I like a scene you wrote. Fuck you. I hate you. I'm
Yeah,
not supposed to like things you make.
yeah. So basically, it's just meant to be a little quirky dialogue, little camp life show. That like even like Ivy and Emily don't really bond. I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of funny if they did bond. Like we don't see how they're bonding though. Even ambiguous. That's how I like my writing.
Yeah, I like the maybe off screen, but like the little friendships where it's
Yeah.
like those are some of my favorite moments. I think there was a scene in DC All Stars where like Gret cares about Hunter, Connor cared about Ellie. I'm like,
Yeah,
those
exactly.
Are cute, those are cute moments.
Exactly. Like stuff like
Off-screen
that. I
friendships.
love world building where the world's happening even though we don't see it. Like we'll see like, oh wow, Aiden and Tom go hunting so many times. Now we get to see like their fourth hunting day. Stuff like that. Like I just like to see how like we see how they're using the off time screen time through these little events. And that's like some of my favorite writing is just showing that there's a big world outside of just the screen where we see of like, oh, blah blah blah, they're interacting for the 80th time. But like guess what? This person interacts with them for a lot too, but we don't see it. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I like that. Fuck, I really like that scene. I hate how you wrote it. Though. I think at the moment, I will say that the iGirls are probably my favorite characters, Isabel and Ivy. Ivy because of the profile pic thing, and Isabel because like she's like a subversion of the usual things.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like the other characters, I don't know them as well just yet, so they're kind of like in the void. But maybe later we'll get to know them a bit better.
Exactly.
Let me I'm just looking at the character. Linda's cool.
I love Linda. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's about it. I just scrolled through the characters. I don't like any of the male characters that much yet. I guess
That's fair.
okay, but like the others are kind of like meh.
I like Ted.
I don't know them just yet.
Spencer is pretty
like
solid.
Ted,
Stop. Spencer's cool.
I like the Alliance Wars. This is the biggest permutation of teams, 9v9. So I kind of like the amount of like alliances going on. It's very fun. A little confusing, but it is
exactly.
Fun. I did not realize the teams are so big that I didn't realize that Benji and Spencer are on the same team. I thought they were on different teams.
Yeah, no. I thought it was gonna be a 6v6v6, and I saw actually it's a 9v9. I'm like, oh, that's fun. So we have more.
I love how you can
bigger
have
teams.
So many different alliances in just one team.
Exactly.
I like the. Fuck, what's the team that's not the boys versus girls team?
Red team.
I know that's kind of a controversial take. I like Red Team. That might be a controversial take because some people think that's boring. But
honestly, that's my controversial take too. That's my favorite team. Based on episode 1, I was like, yo, they're my vibe. This is fun. My vibe tribe.
Blue Team is more divisive, but it's more linear, I feel.
Yeah.
It's a bit too linear for me.
Exactly.
This one has a lot of different combinations.
That's what I said. I said this in the proofreader chat when we got the first 3 episodes. I was like, Red Team is kind of winning a lot in the fun team moments. It generally just feels so much fun. When you see them Camp Life of Red. It doesn't mean I hate Blue. It doesn't mean I hate Blue. Let's put that in the record. I just enjoy Red's energy. I don't know. Which is funny.
So they announced Alessio is the first boot, and I was surprised at how the other characters knew so much about Alessio. They're like, oh, he's the quiet one. Yeah, of course he'll be first boot. I was like, is this One World where the different camps can interact? Do they know Alessio? I'm surprised they know so much about him.
Yeah. What can I say? Yeah, okay. So, like I said, off-camera scenes happen. Remember, how times, Jeff takes people on the mat, to everyone, each 18 person? Yeah, that has probably happened with, Trevor and Derek with each contestant, before the challenges talk, so we get to see their mindsets a bit more. So, that's why they have, a bit of perception on Alessio, because maybe Alessio doesn't ask questions to, Trevik, stuff like that, basically. It's reality TV, kind of footage cut. So they get a bit of perception due to how they talk to the host, if that makes sense. And that's something important to keep an eye on. Maybe. I don't know. It depends on what type of person and fan you are. If you're a dynamic person, that's cool.
I really like this challenge, the Truth or Dare challenge.
Yeah.
I know that in DC All-Stars, the Truth challenge was one of the best received ones, one of the weights. So I was happy that it kind of returned. And I do and I'm pretty sure you helped proofread this, because you, me, and Tam, the 3 of us, we bitched about it in the DC2 retrospective. That the truths and lies actually had the truth and dares actually had to do with the characters, and it wasn't dumb shit who was in adult movies.
Okay.
Who wore a bunny suit.
Okay, so remember, some of the dares aren't just related to the characters, Ice Bath, model, dog for Linda. They're not all related to the characters. So a kiss a dare. It's remember spin a bottle. It's kind of like that. So there is some that don't relate, but there are some that personally relate a lot, which is some of the truth and some of the dares.
No, more so the truths. More so the truths than the
truths. Yeah, Isabel's upbringing. What else was there? Oh God, Marissa ranking the team. That was so crazy because it's do you want to give a social stand-in or your immunity streak? That is gameplay at its finest, and I know Marks probably would love that too. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this is in Marks' alleyway of kind of fun dilemmas.
Yeah.
And I was like, probably you too, because I'm like, this is so cool. We don't see people try to give social stand-in. They want to keep the social stand-in up for a risk of losing a challenge because people are so game focused on the challenges, but they realize, wait, is winning immunity all that's about? And I think that's a fun dilemma in this gameplay. We'll get to see if it's all about winning competitions or it's about having a unified team. And I think that has shown a bit more within these 4 episodes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this was a lot more enjoyable than the DC2 Truths and Dares challenge.
No, when I saw this challenge, I was like, all my DC2 friends rise up. This is so much more fun. I literally said all the DC fans better come back up. And I was like, this is good. This is good stuff.
It's not the trashy fucking Truth, like some people love that challenge in DC too, and I'm like, what the hell? What is this?
Yeah. No, don't worry.
Man.
We're not gonna out anyone with a challenge.
Marissa,
that was so bad.
She has a thing where it's like rank the people based on how much you like them. Like, firstly, if I was in that position, I would just do it in alphabetical order. And if people are mad at me, I did an alphabetical order. It wasn't.
All right, Sean
there's
Rector.
no bias, you know. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I don't hate you. You're just last in the alphabet.
Yeah.
Also, how can you police the truths and lies? Like, how does Emily know like the answers or something?
No, but like it's this idea of saying it out loud. No, you
truths?
can lie it, but like remember, Marissa has like a moral compass going on, and what's it called? Like she wants to like even if she puts anyone in the bottom, she'll still feel bad. Like if she puts a girl, like even Anastasia, like she's not gonna put her in the bottom, of course. So like maybe even though she's more understanding, she wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just no way for her in her mind to approach that. Like she just feels like suffocated trying to even do it. If that makes sense, for lack of a better term. It's just in the moment of position to just decide no. And then can we talk about the Amelie review one? That's so much funny. Like that's like comedic relief at its best.
I love the Richard scene where he has to shave. That was like one of the first like. It felt to me like that's one of the few times where DC really went into that style of comedy. You know, in Total Drama, there's a scene where like Jeff gets like a really small like splinter or whatever, and it's like everyone's overreacting to it. Like that kind of humor.
Shout out to the animators for that like brave scene, like Richard acting like a badass. That was not in script, but it was so good. It was so good. Like I said, the artist
Richard's what? Sorry, wait. Richard's
like
what? Sorry.
Badass scene where he's like, "I got this." Like if you rewatch the episode, he has like determined like fist down, determined face, and then he's panicking. No, it's gonna go straight to him panicking though. But like I'm so glad that they did that. Like I really think the animation, all departments are synced up at its finest, and it really has shown how close it is to hire like inside a group where like so we obviously have friends, so like we talk about the show, but like, I don't obviously see the panels because like that's a department work, I can't see that, but
he didn't shave his hair though. He still has hair on the sides. It's
but it's the free hairs on his head.
Shave his head.
It's on his head, not the side of the head.
He lied.
I honestly thought his whole head was going on. I thought his whole head was gonna go. I was like, oh, what do you mean the free hairs?
Shave the
two hairs. Yeah, get the mustache out of the way. No, but when I think of Richard though, I just think of Kenny from The Walking Dead. Sometimes, just a little more.
Oh my god, kinda. Yeah. He's got a bro skater voice in there.
No, I was like, this is like the perfect character. Like I don't know.
Also, Benji's other than the Sonic one's shit, but the other ones were so cool. I was like, what the
no,
fuck?
Okay, I'll be honest.
He's so cool.
No, I wrote it. I was like, Benji's cosplays are cool. That's why I put the context was. Then I saw the Sonic one. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? I thought these are the coolest cosplays ever. Because then Tristan,
why's everyone laughing at him? It's actually like cool.
But then Tristan bonds with Benji over it though.
Wait, I don't remember. What does Tristan say?
Tristan just puts their arm over Benji's shoulder as a way of support.
All right.
Yeah.
Jade has the world's fucking easiest dare ever. It's just math. Like,
honestly,
it's not hard math. It was like fucking quadratic equations. Like,
no, I would have killed that. But also in the freaking script, it didn't put the math equation, so I probably the animators made their own math equation. And honestly, it's on us.
So easy. It was like sorry, I played the video by accident. So easy.
But yeah, like I'm not gonna shame the animators, but this is not. Just don't take it out the continuity. Just pretend it doesn't exist. Please don't get mad at people. Like we are trying. Like the poor artists, they do so much already. Like don't get mad at them for like a negative sign. Like I understand. I'm a math boy. I was in honors. I was.
Not the negatives. I know that it was wrong.
Yeah, it was by like one negative sign. So like I don't know. I'd say cut
again. Maybe it's because I'm old.
But like I understand. But I'm a math person, so I understand the frustration. But I still think it's kind of like, damn, you guys are that heated over it. Like it's not continuity. It's a montage scene. Like why are the montages taken seriously? It's like saying Natalia's push-ups was such a big moment for her character. And I'm like, wait. I don't know.
Yeah, imagine if we put important character moments in montages. DC2 kissing episode.
Who knows? Maybe DC4 does that also. But like, I don't know.
Really. I don't know. Okay, so what did I put a note. I don't remember why. I put like why Tristan want to get punched. I don't remember the context of his note that I put. I don't remember.
Like Tristan wanted to punch themselves because they felt like it'd be rude to like. Not rude, but like they didn't want to punch anyone. That's just like a really tough thing to do. It's like, hey, that tribe member punched them. So she was like, can I just punch myself, get it out of the way, and like move on? But
no, that's my comment. This cast's too fucking nice. It's too fucking nice. We need like a mean cast. I want everyone to be mean.
No, they're gonna be mean soon. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We have
Ivy is so extra. There's a scene. Ivy was like, "Yeah, in the face," and I was like, "Oh my god." It's great.
She's literally your quirky girl. That's like your type of character.
Fuck, you're right. You're absolutely right. Fuck. Look at that. God damn it. Now that Genesis is not on the podcast, I'm gonna get picked on for this.
Yeah, no. When I wrote Ivy, I was like, oh, okay. Ivy is my big goal for episode 3. I was like,
Jenny. What?
I was like, this is gonna be Jpeg's character after I'm done. I feel because she's so quirky.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck, it actually worked. God damn it. I don't know who Jenny would like because the two blondes are like, they're older. One's a mom and the other's like a girl boss. I know Jenny doesn't like girl bosses, so it's like.
Yeah. Well, Natalia's hair was originally blonde, so like.
Blonde? Whose hair?
Natalia's hair is dyed pink, but it was blonde. It was agreed and confirmed that.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Huh.
Maybe just maybe.
Yeah, who would Jenny like? There's no like Southern girl in this cast. So I don't know.
Yeah, good question.
But yeah.
Then the Southern is. Wait, no, I'm joking. Oh wait. Oh, that was original. That's from the bio. Scoot away.
I don't even know what you said. So.
Good.
I don't even know what you said.
Cut it out.
I don't know what you said.
Good.
I don't know what you said.
Cut it out anyways.
Marilyn Manson comment. That one I saw on Twitter, and again, back in my mind, I'm like, they won't know what this is, but also that's really funny.
Yeah, no.
That is like the easiest way to like piss off someone like Tristan. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
That's one way to piss him off. Him off. But yeah. Then I have mixed feelings on this. The Isabel's reveal was like an unreveal because it like cuts off camera. It's like a noodle incident. I don't know. I'm like,
yeah.
I get that's the joke, but at the same time, I wish I knew what it was.
Yeah, no, it's kind of is a joke because I'm like, Natalia's like, oh, hello, new bestie, like stuff like that. Like it's kind of, but like it also is serious. Like it's like depending on how you take it. I understand maybe it could have been more depth, but like remember, there's children who watch the show, so like if we just like say it all out loud, it'll taint their little ears. So we gotta like the censorships.
There were like head and cock jokes. What do you mean taint their little ears?
Well, good point. But point stands though.
Also, Emily says, "Go Diego, go." You guys did that on purpose, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. Jorge wrote a rewrite, right, with the whole Diego challenge. I'm like, hey, Jorge, can we sneak in under X or go? He's like, you just want the fucking reference, don't you? I was like, yes. I'll take full responsibility for it. I don't care. Just put the reference in.
You fucks. I fucking...
And it's perfect that it was Amelie, though, because Amelie makes it less, like, cartoony. It's more, like, in a serious moment. Like it's...
None of your edits will top my edit. It's not cheating unless you have shoes on. That is the greatest.
No, my contacts are catching up, though.
Yeah, fuck you, fucking... Nah, well, I got, well, even Nick, who I don't care about, but I'll throw him in there, too.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. No, but there's, like, I did get to do a Survivor confessional, though. But, like, no one's gonna notice it.
What?
I can't say it. It's not in this episode.
Okay. Well, can you say the season, at least?
Pearl Islands.
Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna
You're not gonna get it.
But, unless it's like, I hope their dinglings get caught in a vine. Unless it's that one.
No. That was a good one, though, but I didn't do that.
Unless it's like, oh, my grandma is watching Jerry Springer.
No, well, maybe. Well, that was already referenced in DC1, though.
Yeah.
So, like, good luck.
Yeah, we're almost done. Freckles Jr. makes a cameo. I love that, because not only is that Weister's legacy, because, the chicken wasn't named originally, and then Weister added the Heroes vs. Villains reference. But also, you play the fucking Minecraft sound effect of the chicken. It's so funny.
No, we did a watch party with the staff. We all saw that, and we were just dropped. I was like, "What do you mean the chicken sound effect from Minecraft is down?" Also, yeah, Freckles. I think that was added by the non-survivor people. That was added by Jorge. I was like, "Yes, Freckles Jr. This is genius." The only days I helped out with were Zayd's. And but like I didn't do the work for Zayd's. I just like gave suggestions, and then Anastasia, I gave the suggestion not to make a hair again, just do eyebrows.
Because I thought that was a really good idea. I was gonna comment on that. It's so cliche whenever it's like girls like let's say Heather like I don't want to get my hair wet, that stuff, and I really like the eyebrows one because eyebrows grow really fucking slow, so it's like. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want I'm not a fashion person. I wouldn't want my eyebrow shaved. So like,
exactly. That's why I wrote it in. Right? I was like, hair, at least you can wear a hat. But like, and it goes back fast. My jeans do, anyways. But eyebrows, though, that's the worst thing. I was like, she's a model. This is gonna destroy her forever if she loses those eyebrows. Like,
yeah, it's my big pet peeve in like fanfics. Like the girls are like, I don't want to get my hair wet.
But also, this was written by Reese.
Really unreasonable stuff.
This was written by Reese because I trusted Reese with this kind of thing because I don't want to make it like too like like a man ready to grow like and it'd be really bad. So I was like, this is probably the best for Reese to have hands on, and it worked out really well. So props to Reese and props to Jorge with the chicken there.
Yeah.
So like, let's go.
Which character backstories have? I feel like we've seen pretty much everyone.
Yeah, in the first 3 episodes, it's one every
montage or whatever.
Okay, so there's one every 6. I'm pretty sure. Like there's 6
one every 6 episodes.
No, there's 6 backstories every episode, so they'll be in the first 3 episodes already all established, unless there's one in episode 4.
Oh, okay.
But like it should be all pretty much done.
Yeah, I think everyone has had a turn.
Yeah, that's why we did it 1 every 6, like 6 every 1, because it's like, all right, by the 3rd episode, everyone will know everyone. Because when I know I do backstories,
I don't remember if Alessio had one.
He did. He was like,
no, yeah, that's right. The Eiffel. I blocked it from my memory because I saw the Eiffel Tower.
They reused the Fiore asset to make his outfit.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I wrote the spark is gone. I was so proud of that because when I wrote the spark is gone, Jared added to the bio of the poster. I was like, wait, it's cool. My line suggestion helped shape Alessio's bio.
Oh my gosh. So when Logan kissed the model or whatever, he had a leg pop or whatever. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, is Logan gonna have like a gay coming out arc? Because I found it like more wholesome. Because usually the trope is that like oh my god, I'm gonna kiss a model, close your eyes, kiss a guy. Oh my god, it's a guy. But here he seemed to enjoy it. And I was like, ooh, this is like wholesome. It's interesting,
Interesting, yeah. Oh, sorry, my audio cut out. But yeah, that's definitely a good point though. Like he did come out hesitancy. This was written by Jace. It was hesitant. And Natalia's like, just go for it. Pictures Alessio. Like, guys, we don't ship Alessio like Logan. It's just Natalia teasing Logan just for being more like, what's the word? Like emotional as a man. So it's more like something like the tease about in Natalia's head, even though it's out of love. But with the kiss though, yeah, it did happen. I knew that when this kiss happened, I was like, all right, this is gonna be the thumbnail. This is gonna be the scene everyone talks about. Also, props to Jelly. Jelly storyboarded the scene and made the model, naming it Alessandro. Because
Alessandro.
We did a joke in the comments briefly, and I was like, hey, could it be an Italian model? And then Reese supports like, you're messy, but I like it. So we basically got an Italian model due to that joke. But you know what? Yeah. Watercolor fans. I don't support the ship, but you know what? If some people do, they have it, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, that's all the comments. Other than Emily being second boot, it's kind of like Eva, Carol. It's always the bossy woman.
But can we talk about that elimination music though? With all the reactions, that was so badass. For episode 3, what I'm saying, how they all have those expressions going out, and I was like, wait, this is actually more intense than I thought it was gonna be. And how they made the animation for it.
Yeah. Kind of like the first episode. I felt like, the decoy vote being Spencer kind of came out of nowhere. But, it's whatever. It's fine.
Also, I need to reveal this line because I never will be able to reveal it. Actually, not. Did I reveal it? Yeah, I'm never gonna bring it back. This is for episode 2.
What?
This is for episode 2. This didn't get accepted. I was like, come on, let's make it.
Oh my god, what the? Sorry, Alessio, rest in spaghetti, never forgetting.
I tried.
Oh man.
I tried, like, everyone battled for it,
man.
and it didn't get in. So sad. My geniusness.
Rest in spaghetti. I would have suggested something like, "Oh, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore." I don't know, something to play off of that.
That'd be funny, yeah.
That's Fio, right? No, I don't know.
That's Fio. Oh my god, DC8. No, I'm joking.
DC8, Alessio versus Fiore, the battle of the Italians. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's all my comments for the first 3 episodes. Pretty solid so far. I don't really have any big, like, I don't want to rank it because, like, again, I don't think it's fair to rank, like, on unfinished. It's not finished yet, the story's not done.
Yeah.
I don't see the vision just yet, right?
It's alright, you'll see it soon.
I quite enjoyed them more than I thought. I do sadly think that because I'm, like, burnt out, I'm not going to enjoy this nearly as much as All-Stars. That's okay.
It's alright.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You'll get back in maybe. We'll see. It takes a minute, I'll be honest. Like, DC4 is like the slow killer to you. Like, I was like still attached to DC3 Castles right now. It's like, damn, I miss my DC3 babies. But then I'm like, oh. Like later on, I'm like, wait, do I miss them? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to close off on? So, like, before we head up?
If you have any questions for me, any, like, predictions and stuff like that.
All right, sure.
One thing I am sad about is that it's very unlikely if any of the first 2 generations will ever interact with these characters. I want them to, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, they're done. The DC1 and DC2 characters are done. I don't see any of them return.
I could maybe, like, see a couple. Like, I could see, like, 14 of them return.
14?
Yeah.
14?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I have a lot of ideas in my head. Okay, maybe not 14, like 12, okay? Like for like the DC 1 and 2 cast.
Are most of them like Nick, Lil,
Will? Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like anyone you can make a justification for besides like the couple of viewers like, no, you can't bring them back.
Yeah, the only ones I would want are the non-All-Stars or Lake, Fiore, and Hunter. Like, those are the only ones I'd like to see back.
Yeah.
The other ones, I'm like, nah, you're done. You can stay out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it then, I guess. So, who is your winner prediction, Jpeg? We gotta ask now. The
good
preseason.
Question. I have no idea.
Great.
I think it is going to. I know you guys don't really care that much about gender balance, but I do think it's gonna be a guy, so that we have 2 males, 2 female winners, or non-binary. It could be Tristan.
Yeah, it could
I don't
be.
think so though. I don't think it's gonna be Tristan. I don't think it's gonna be Tristan. I think it's gonna be a male. I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
Perfect.
Okay, it's one of the Glasses boys. That's my prediction. And I know you guys are gonna get so much shit because they're both like, the Jake archetype, Tom Jake archetype. So you guys are gonna get a lot of shit, but it's gonna be one of the Glasses boys. That's my prediction. I don't know which one, but it's one of them.
Okay, so someone who's wearing glasses.
I would lean toward. Oh man, I don't know which one. I don't know which one I'll lean towards. I'll lean towards Benchy more, but yeah.
Interesting.
Like,
God, it's so much fun having power now.
Logan, if you want like more of a ditzy male winner, I can see it being Logan, honestly, but I don't know. We'll see.
We will see because in November,
like, maybe it's Occam's razor, because like the women characters are more complex, but at the same time, I don't know. At the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe on a male winner this season.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe want to bro it out. I don't know, but that is something we'll find out in November because only January. I know Marks and you will be very big brains collaborated on Furious. Probably, I don't know, like do a Genesis and I what we did. But that is for now.
I don't know.
Do we do outro? All right.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Maybe next time we'll get Marks. Who knows? Maybe the next few episodes we'll have one guest. I don't want more than 4 people, like maximum like 4 people, but like usually I want to keep it 2 or 3 people on the show, right?
Agreed. Like I think like a small little crowd.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed. This is going to be a fun ride that'll last a very long time. 11 more months. Jesus Christ.
Damn, I'm stuck with Jpeg.
I'll be 24 when this ends. Jesus. I'll be 24 when this ends. Jesus Christ.
Almost halfway into 30.
Yeah, so
well, no, that's a lie.
Thank you for sticking around for season 2 of the Dispatch, and yeah, bye everybody.
Goodbye.
Woo! Ellie's the queen. All right.
No. I can't believe you snuck that in.
There we go.
On the recording.